Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
We have a packed show today. Is Belichick trying to outlast Brady in New England? And can LeBron and the Lakers really become a defensive-minded team? Shannon, that's interesting. But first, we're going to start with Skip's Cowboys. The Dallas offense has been more explosive under offensive coordinator Kellen Moore than in years past. Both Dak and Zeke were off to their hottest starts of their careers at different points this season. And through 8 weeks, the Cowboys have the most offensive yards per game in the league. On the defensive side, Dallas also ranks in the top 10 for yards allowed per game. The Cowboys are only one of 3 teams who are in the top 10 in both categories. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
It tells me the Cowboys have underachieved. Yeah, that's what it tells me. What did it tell you, Skip? Don't answer that. It's not your turn. It's my turn. I have the floor. Okay, you know what, Jenny, you mentioned. You said there are 3 teams that's in the top 10s in points scored and points allowed. Now, one of those teams are the 49ers. If you don't mind me asking, Jenny, you know their record?
Yeah.
They're 7-0. There's another team that's also in that has the top 10 offense, top 10 defense as far as points allowed and points scored. That's the Minnesota Vikings. They're 6-2. The other team, the third team, that's top 10 offense, points scored, top 10 defense, points allowed, the Dallas Cowboys. 4-3. Now, can you tell me why this team doesn't have 5, 6 wins?
Can you tell me how lucky you are?
Whoa, Skip, hold on. It's not your turn. Now, there are only 5 quarterbacks in the NFL that has more interceptions than Dak Prescott. Baker Mayfield, his team is 2-5. Jameis Winston, his team is 2-5. Sam Darnold, his team is 1-6. Matt Ryan, his team is 1-7. And lo and behold, Andy Dalton, 0-8. You know what? I treat quarterback play kind of like a bad diet. See, they say you can't out-exercise a marginal or a bad diet. You can't outscore or hold people down with a marginal or bad quarterback. You can't do it, Jenny. Well, something got to give. Either you got to be all in and say, you know what, I'm going to eat right and I'm going to exercise, or you say, you know what, the hell with it, I'm going to eat what I want to and look how I want to.
Shoot.
Skip Bayless, what you going to do now? Now, your quarterback is turning the ball over.
I'm writing this down. I'm writing this down. Okay.
I also look at numbers like this, offense and defense. You look at an offense and say they're top 10 and yada, yada, yada. You look at a defense, can they stop? It's kind of like a child's trust, and he can't have got to wait till he's 21 years old to get it.
Okay.
What good is money if you can't get to it when you need it? What good is having a top 10 offense? When you need a third down, you can't get it. When you need a touchdown or a field goal to go win you the game, you can't get it. What good is it having a top 10 defense and points allowed if you can't get your butt off the field and stop the team from going down the field? What good is that, Skip? I just want to know, you lost the ball game 12-10. You mean to tell me you tops in points allowed? I mean, points scored and you can't get me but 10? Why you keep falling behind, Skip? It's not your turn. It's a rhetorical question. I'm asking, I'm thinking out loud. I don't realize I'm mic'd up, so I'm thinking out loud, but you can actually hear me. How is that possible?
You realize you're on TV.
Oh, I am? Oh, okay.
We are live.
Okay,
yes,
I'll be on my best behavior there.
Take that in.
Then help me understand that, Skip. I'm just trying to figure out, and plus, first of all, your stats are really weighted for the first 3 games. Because a lot of those, you got a lot of those old yards, I call them garbage, empty calorie yards. You fall behind 31-3, and you end up with 563 yards, but what you got to show for it? You did all the exercising. Skip, got on the treadmill, he ran like an 8 hard miles. Jenny, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
Worked out real hard, and then had a cinnamon roll and a root beer.
Wait, did you say that about me?
Yeah, I said that about you.
That is the biggest lie you've ever told. 8 miles, true. Already did my 8 today.
I
do it every morning.
And that's my point, Skip Bayless. See, you wouldn't waste. You come in, you have your thing, and he come in, you sit his sack down. I know. I see you got a muscle milk or protein shake in there.
Yeah.
Protein shake.
Yeah, I know.
It's not muscle milk.
Yeah, I mean, it's in there. So you don't want to.
Metrex, RTD.
Yes.
What is it? 50? Yeah.
You don't want to put all that hard work in and have it go to waste.
No.
So you're number one. You're top 10 in points scored. You're top 10 in points allowed.
Yeah.
And what do you got? You're 4-3, Skip. These other teams, there are only 2 other teams besides yourself. One 7-0 and the other 6-1. No, excuse me, 6-2. So you mean to tell me, first cousin, you don't like first cousin. He better. My guy beat your guy head up. All I know, here's
4-0 against that guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to be 5-0.
And then Jimmy G.
I don't know about that one.
So All I'm saying is this, Skip. You guys have underachieved because there are only 3 of you guys that's in the top 10 in offense and defense as far as points go. And for you guys to be 4-3 and these other 2 teams to be 13-2 combined, it just lets you know something in the milk ain't clean. I don't know what that is.
Tell me when you're finished.
It's your turn.
Thank you. So I want to point out to our loyal and faithful audience that this man across from me yesterday said that my quarterback deserves $40 million a year.
He does.
That he should not give a hometown discount to Jerry Jones.
What got to do with this?
$40 million a year.
Yeah.
He just called that same quarterback out of the other side of his mouth marginal or a bad quarterback because you can't overcome marginal or bad, and that's what you dismiss my quarterback as marginal.
They pay them guys all the time.
Yeah.
The NFL little with marginal average quarterback making tons of money, Jenny.
See Kirk Cousins.
See, there you go. You took a shot at my cousin, that first cousin.
Harsh.
Now, let's look at the truth of what's going on.
Okay, look at it.
Okay, so I love Pro Football Focus because it ranks the Dallas Cowboy offense number 1 in the whole NFL. Number 1 is the Cowboy offense, says Pro Football Focus.
Yes.
And Dak Prescott, I don't know how, because he can't throw, he's inaccurate, he's marginal to bad, says the Hall of Famer, and he still ranks number 1 in the whole league in QBR. And Pro Football Focus ranks each quarterback's performance, and they rank Dak second in overall performance to Russell Wilson so far through 7 games of this year at, to your point, 4-3. But still, the quarterback is playing at a supremely high level because they are first in yards. So something's going right.
Empty yards.
Empty yards, says Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
But yet Pro Football Focus says they rank number 1. They're the best offense in all of pro football. And by the way, they also rank Ezekiel Elliott 11th among running backs. 11th? Wow, that's interesting.
Do you believe he's the 11th best running back? Do you believe that?
I'm just going on for what they say. So if I do 2 + 2 = 4, then the premise that you continue to throw at me across the table, they go as far as the running back can carry them. The quarterback's playing at a supremely high level, says Pro Football Focus. The running back is having, by his standards, an ordinary year.
That's because the standard is so high.
Okay. And so something's going on with that quarterback who says you marginal to bad. Okay. Something's really going on great with that quarterback so far. So what's my takeaway from this?
Yes.
The Dallas Cowboys have actually lost 3 close games. They lost to what I told you yesterday is the best defense, the hardest defense to beat is the New Orleans defense at New Orleans. It gets so loud, especially in a night game.
It shouldn't be that hard, Skip.
Well, it just is.
You got Dak Prescott. You lead the league in yards. He's number 1 in QBR. He's been played Pro Football Focus, and you love Pro Football Focus.
He played really well at New Orleans.
And got 10 points to show for it.
Yep, but that defense is really good. You cannot find a tougher degree of difficulty than the New Orleans defense at New Orleans this year. They got the best pass rush. They fly around. They can cover. They got it all on defense, especially at home.
If your guy is what you said he is, that should not be a problem.
So my guy then goes up to the Jets. He doesn't have either all-star tackle. Lyle Collins not an all-star. He's just a star. He hasn't made a team yet. And Amari Cooper catches the first ball for 3 yards, and he's got a thigh bruise suffered in the Green Bay game, and he does not play. Michael Gallup does play, and he drops 3 passes, which brings me to one other stat that I didn't give you. The Dallas Cowboys are tied for second in drops in the NFL. Tied for second.
Where's their quarterback as far as bad ball thrown? Where's he at?
Well, must be
first?
really low.
Where is that at, Jenny? Is that a stat? Pro Football Focus keep all the other stats?
The last 10 games last year after he got Amari, he was number 1 in the entire NFL in catchable passes. And this guy says he's not accurate.
How about this? Okay.
Interesting.
You guess what this year? He's only behind a handful of quarterbacks as far as throwing the defense catchable passes. That's why he's ranked right up there in the INTs.
So what did I tell you about, and again, QBR is backing me up on this.
No, it's not.
Deserved interceptions. He is much lower because he threw a Hail Mary at the end of the Saints game that's just like a gift for the defense. I'll take this one I'll take this hit on my stats. I'll throw a Hail Mary, and it'll probably get intercepted because the degree of difficulty is off the
he threw it to the 10. If you throw it in the end zone, it's probably going to get knocked down. But when you can't reach the end zone, I mean, what you expect.
And I'll go to my grave, and we got lots of those around.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna put you in one of them.
Telling you that Amari Cooper had a ball hit him right there that he muffed into an interception that turned the whole Green Bay game. It was not behind him. It was definitely in the catch zone. Shannon Sharpe would have just used his left hand to put that in his back pocket.
Hold on.
Am I right?
Hold on. Talk about
and Amari Cooper's right up there with
right around. Well, he got to get a gold jacket. Got to get a couple of Pro Bowls.
He's on
get a couple of All-Pro
career path going. He's projected.
But Skip, well, help me find out. Okay, you keep telling, your quarterback's number 1 in QBR, and you say Pro Football Focus says he's played the best quarterback, second behind Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and it says their offense is number 1.
The offense is number 1.
Yet the running back ranks 11th.
Okay,
it must be all because of the quarterback.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Interesting.
I'm glad you said that. I was hoping you say that. I led you down there. So it's all his fault.
Wow.
So if you want to give him all the credit for playing so well, number 1 in QBR, the second best quarterback, Pro Football Focus, behind Russell Wilson.
Yep.
His running back, who normally is in the top 3 or 4, is number 11. Number 11. So therefore, they're 4 and 3. Therefore, this falls solely on the feet of your quarterback is what you're telling me.
No, what I'm telling you is, next stat is Pro Football Focus ranks my defense 12th. And no, that's about where they are. They rank about 12th because they've been hit and miss. Maybe
that's your offense.
No, that's the defense. The defense failed to show up for 2 games, Green Bay and at Jets. Just failed to show up and fell behind 31-3 and 21-3. And my quarterback in both cases brought them all the way back to within a botched field goal of an onside kick to get back in the Green Bay game, and to within an uncalled pass interference on Jason Witten in the end zone.
No, it was not.
He draped on it. He fell all over him. It was a wrestling takedown.
So in other words, you bull jive the entire game, and then you wait late into the ball game, and you want the officials to bail you out. Is that what you're hoping? Yes, it is.
I mean, was it pass interference?
No.
It was glaring.
Okay,
obvious.
Okay. You want to put all this in.
That's on the 2-point play to tie the game.
2-point conversion, right, to tie the game, to possibly get in overtime. But let me ask you this. So what about when the defense held a team to 10 points? I mean, 12 points.
I told you they hit and miss, but they rose up against Teddy Bridgewater in his first start, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's okay. Not bad.
And Skip, I mean, you get your third down completion percentage. You got a number first. I'm just trying to figure out where was all this third down? Where was all these numbers when you were falling behind 7-0, 14-0, 7-0, 31-3? Okay. Where was all of this then?
You've got to start from the start. And finally, in game number 7 on a Sunday night at Jerry World, what happened, Mr. Sharpe?
You beat Philly.
When you least expected it. It was a tour de force. It showed you just how good or maybe even great this team can be. It is loaded, and guess what? It just went out and got Michael Bennett to add to the pass rush. That just could be an over-the-top Super Bowl move.
So in other words, what you're telling me, I'm supposed to disregard what I've seen the previous 6 games and just take the Cowboys at the last game. That's who the Cowboys are.
That's who they are. And that's who they will be.
No, they're not.
Took off.
So who's there to play Green Bay? So who was them replacement and them imposters that Jerry Jones trotted out there against Green Bay? Well, who were those imposters that he took down to New Orleans? Who were the Cowboys that had the star on their helmet in New York? I just need to know, Skip.
The quarterback threw for 493 yards against Green Bay.
He threw for 463, but it was empty.
463.
Empty.
463.
Skip, you were down.
329 in the second half.
You were down 31-3. At no point in time, look at Dak's numbers when the game was in 1 score. Look at his touchdown to interception ratio then. I don't want to hear nothing about all that behind. So what? If the guy, Skip, if I run, let's just say for the sake of argument, I run a marathon, I'm not going to run one.
Okay.
And I finish in 4 hours. Woo! Boy, that was a great time. When everybody else finished in 2.5. What the hell have I done? Well, you behind 31-3, you throw off all those yards. I need meaningful. I need you to give me something meaningful. Don't give me no flowers when I'm dead. Give them to me where I lie. Say, Shannon, you a hell of a guy. That's Shannon Sharpe, a hell of a guy. I just love him, Jenny. I just love that guy. You want to
that guy.
All these 31-3, and here come Dak. How long is the game? Skip, I need something in the first quarter when you had a chance. Because Aaron Rodgers was dealing. He and Aaron Jones was dealing. And he did it without the old Devontae. He been doing it without Devontae. You cannot mention Dak Prescott without mentioning his Amari Cooper. Tom Brady, he ain't got nothing. He got nobody like a little Julian Edelman, a 7th-round quarterback from Kent State. That's who he's dealing with, doing it with.
You cannot mention Aaron Rodgers without mentioning Aaron Jones,
who
is the real MVP of that team. He was the MVP at Dallas, and he was the MVP the other night.
My guy was dealing. You saw my guy, Skip. You saw the throws he was making, Skip.
Who? Aaron Rodgers?
Yes!
The one he overthrew Jimmy Graham by 10 yards?
You got to do that all the time. You got to do that all the time.
No, my guy does not.
You know what? I haven't heard you mention anything about the throwaways. But Skip, let's be all the way. Your guys' stats are really padded before the first 3 games. When you played Miami. Did you see Miami last night? Just let me show you how bad.
They had 14-0. I saw that.
And just how bad Miami is.
That was the only good part.
Miami with 34 seconds left in the half, Jenny, they come with a bomb blitz on the 45-yard line. That's what dumb teams do. That's what gets you beat. That's who the Cowboys beat. And you beat the Giants with Eli, who has since been benched. And you beat Washington. How many games did Washington won, Skip? So your stats were you had, that was dealing.
We're 3-0 in the division. That's pretty good. Wait, we're still leading the division. How could that be?
Only temporarily.
You're ripping and slashing the team that's leading the NFC
Only temporarily.
Oh, temporarily.
Because that meat. See, right now, y'all have fat. Y'all about to get the meat of the schedule.
I'll bet a case on next Monday night's game. I'll take Dallas. How about that?
I bet you would.
Okay.
I bet you would take a really?
You said it's temporary, so I'll take it.
No. I bet I tell you, we already got 5 cases back. At the end of the year, you won't be in first place in the NFC East.
So
that's for sure.
I want people to realize that all of a sudden, DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn have Michael Bennett to mix and match at either end or at either tackle, because Malik Collins and Antoine Woods are really good.
They are. They play well.
It's stout.
But that's what I don't understand, Skip. Pro Football Focus, so you got the best offense, you got one of the best teams, and yet you sit here 4-3. Now, something's not computing. So I'm spitting all this information into my computer.
Focus ranks teams. This is overall offense, defense.
Okay, where are the Cowboys?
Fourth. It goes San Francisco, Minnesota, New England, Dallas.
No,
that's what I'm seeing.
Hold on, go ahead. Okay. San Francisco is, what's their record? 7-0. Okay, New England, what's their record? 8-0. Minnesota, what's their record? 6-2. The Dallas Cowboys, 4-3, and they're the 4th best team. Something's not adding up.
Yep, that's true.
Let me get my computer right.
They have, to echo what you said, it's underachievement.
Okay, then.
3 close losses.
We don't do that. The closeness only matters if you're playing horseshoes and you're slow dancing. I hadn't been to a slow dance since I was in 8th grade. Well, I was, good. The chaperones the chaperones got my way, JD. But anyway, Skip Bayless, I'm tired of you.
I'm hearing fear from across the table.
Fear what?
Because I know you know what's coming. What's coming is this team's got a chance to go really deep.
Everybody got a chance.
Yeah.
You got a chance. You should have been 7-0. If Skip,
you know what? I'll buy that. Should be 7-0.
All I'm saying is, if your team is what you say they are, if your quarterback, and see, you let us say, I'm not saying Dak's a bust, but I don't see what you see.
You called him marginal or bad, somewhere in that.
You think 12 touchdowns?
Somewhere between average and below average.
Okay, how about this here? Do you think 12 touchdowns with 7 interceptions is good or bad?
I think it's good because you have to do value, quality of interceptions. And he's had a couple of bad idea interceptions, but really, I can do at least 4 that were not his fault.
But hold on. But what about when you do all these one-handed catch? Do you do value of catch for the receiver? So what does the receiver get when he has to make acrobatic catches?
I could do that, sure.
No. I need pro football. I need a statue. But
I just told you, Dallas tied for 2nd in drops with Houston, with the Saints #1 in drops.
All I'm saying is
interesting.
All I'm saying, for a team that's #1 in top 10 in points scored and points allowed, you should be better than what your record says. Now, Coach Parcells says you are what your record says you are.
Okay.
So, in other words, you're a 4-3 team, which is slightly above average.
Yep.
That's slightly above average, Skip Bayless.
What did you just see on a week ago Sunday night? What did you see?
Man, I can't go back that far.
Yeah, really?
I only go back a day.
And by the way,
I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. What did I eat?
That is not true.
You're all over the Philadelphia Eagles. You got
you saw what they did against Buffalo?
You have tripled down.
You see what they did against Buffalo?
You want to go 10 cases?
No, did you see what they did to Buffalo?
Pro Football Focus ranks them 11th overall, which is
hold on, Skip.
not all that bad.
I'm trying to figure out, how does the 4th-ranked team in all the NFL, there's 32 teams, and the 11th overall team out of 32 teams have the exact same record? I mean, same wins. Same amount of wins, Skip.
Not the same record. 4 losses isn't 3.
Because y'all was on the bye. That's the only reason. You're tied to bye, so you're 4-3-1. You're tied to bye.
Well, so you're saying we're going to lose the next game?
No.
How many cases you
I'm saying you're 4-3-1.
Okay.
Right now. You're tied to bye.
And I look down at all these stats. You know, on offense, Philly is 21st in yards. We're first in yards. 21st in yards.
Skip, hold on. Time out. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Skip. When you're down, I just want to know, did you know when you're down 31-3, how many yards Dak had passed for at that point? Not many. Do you know how many yards Dak had passed for when you was down 21-3 at the Jets?
Then what
happened? Not many. You called the L. They came to see me.
Wait, do the last 3 quarters count?
They came.
For football?
You know, I talk about restaurant this time of year, it fills up.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, my restaurant fills up, Jenny, so I got like a 4-month wait.
Wow.
So I gave the Cowboys and old Dak, they got a table. They come in anytime they want to and get these hot ales.
Really?
Wait, no, yeah, they got a table.
Well, that's interesting because over Dak's career, his 3 years plus this year, what are we up to, 7 games?
Yep.
3 years plus 7 games. He has the second best record in the NFL to Tom Brady. So it seems like he has his own table at your restaurant,
he does.
right?
That's why I make sure I got to get him in. I can't let Dak stay on the outside and miss out on these hot ales. But you say something
Shannon,
interesting.
it's looking worse and worse.
Time out, Skip. You said he has the second best record to Tom Brady. At least Tom Brady got jewelry to show for his. Tom Brady got something to show for his. That great record that he possessed in the regular season, he's turned that in to Super Bowls in the postseason. What have your guy done?
20th season to 4th season.
Okay, what they got to do with anything?
In the near future, Super Bowls, plural.
Man, you got a crystal ball or something? I mean...
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I've been telling you through the whole offseason, this team is the team.
No, it's not.
And it just caught fire.
Where New Orleans going?
Yeah.
They're
good.
Did somebody move New Orleans in the AFC?
They're really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about San Francisco?
What
about San Francisco?
They're really good.
Cap Bosa?
Yeah.
Nick Bosa? Nicky. That's what they call him, old darling Nicky.
Yeah.
Put pain on somebody. Or Sherm gonna lock that thing down. I ain't even worried about it. Sherm gonna handle that.
Shannon, you're in trouble.
No, you in trouble.
Yeah.
Skip, I hate that this happens to you every year. Every year you get so excited. He's like the kid.
Wait a second. Every year, I've won the division 2 of the last 3. And if Zeke didn't get suspended, I would have won that one.
You want more than that.
But see, that's the thing, Skip. You get so excited. I remember when I was a kid, I would get so excited for Christmas.
This is a really young football team.
I would get the train set. I'm going to get the train set, and I'll start peeling out packages. It ain't no damn train set in there. It's a sweater. I don't want no sweater. I wanted a train set, mama.
You got
and
the
Santa
sweater.
Claus ain't bring me no train set. So every year you have aspirations of Super Bowl, and they get you so excited. They go 13-3, win the division. You're like, this the year. Nope.
I don't want Skip to get the sweater. I don't.
I love where my team is. I love Michael Bennett. I love everything that's happened so far.
Okay. Now, I want that energy. I want that energy.
Got some good scar tissue.
I want you to have the same energy. I ain't talking about this week Sunday night. Monday night. I ain't talking about that. No, I don't want
You're
no.
not talking?
I don't want
Why
no.
not?
Why not?
Stop. They playing Daniel Jones, really? Really?
Yeah, but then
Daniel Jones.
First cousin.
Daniel Jones threw 4 touchdowns last week.
He threw 4 interceptions too.
No, he didn't. He had one scoop and score.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you can get some of the old first cousins.
Yep.
Okay.
First cousin coming in for
revenge. We're fine. We're waiting.
No, we ain't waiting on that.
Got to take them one at a time.
I want 3 cases right now.
Okay, you got it.
3 cases.
Done.
Old first cousin got this thing.
Okay.
Old Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I might have to get in on this.
Yeah.
A little more time.
Okay.
Got a little more time. We are going to move on for now.
No mercy.
In 2009, Bill Belichick said he did not want to coach into his 70s. Well, the coach might be having a change of heart after winning his 300th career game. During a radio interview yesterday, Belichick said now that he is getting closer to 70, he's not sure if that was an accurate statement anymore. Meanwhile, Tom Brady last night said that all these speculations about his future were simply talking points from the media. Brady said he is focused on this season and not the future. So, Shannon, what do you read into this?
Well, I'm reading that Coach Belichick plans on being around New England a lot longer than Tom Brady. I find it very odd, Skip. You know the guy that says we're on to Cincinnati, a guy that does not look down the road. Basically, he has tunnel vision. Yeah. And the most important thing to him is the game that's coming up on his schedule next. And for him to project down the road is very unlike Coach Belichick. I don't know if and he's quick to say that. When they was asking him over the last several years, they've asked him about Tom Brady, said, I'm not worried about down there. I'm worried about this year. I'm worried about the next game. And so for Coach Belichick to put it as, to project himself like he can see himself coaching beyond the age of 70, it's telling to me for one reason, Skip. he seems to be that he's re-energized and his defense is playing. You see, while you and others in Pro Football Focus is saying Tom Brady's playing lights out, Coach Belichick's like, I don't believe that. He's like, my defense is playing lights out.
And he wants Tom Brady gone.
I will let you have your turn. Can I have the floor?
Well, we were going there, and I wanted to make sure you arrived at your
destination. I'm gonna let you get there. I'm driving. Yeah, I call Uber. I'm letting Uber drive. You didn't want to call Uber. You don't even have it on your app. You don't have Uber on your app.
You can afford a car service.
No way you're taking Uber either.
Oh, I don't have Uber app on my phone.
Yeah,
either. But anyway, Skip Bayless. So what this tells me is that he's re-energized. He's looking at his defense like, man, we're playing unbelievable. And this is not an old defense. Not saying it's going to be historically this great next year or the year after, but I don't see any situation where they're going to all of a sudden giving up the number of points that they're giving up this year and all of a sudden triple that in years to come. So Coach Belichick is feeling really good about himself. I think he feels that, Skip, that if he were to make this move, considering the way his defense is playing, that he says, you know what, yeah, I'm going to get some blowback for the simple fact this is Tom Brady now. Let's not lose sight of that.
Okay.
And unless he just dives off the cliff, there's going to be some people that's going to question this decision. But I think there'll be fewer people that are questioning the decision given what he's done. Given Coach, and when you have a great body of work, when your resume is impeccable, people might give you the benefit of the doubt whether you say or you do something or you have a slip-up, Skip. And I believe that's what Coach Belichick is banking on. I got my 300th win. I'm a 6-time Super Bowl champ, and in most regards, people regard me as the greatest coach in NFL history. You will make a case that he might be the greatest coach regardless of sport. But withstanding, Skip, I just feel that Coach Belichick basically just laid it down and says, look, guys, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here. I'm going to outlast Tom Brady. And I'm going to win, or I'm going to do my damnedest to win a Super Bowl without him and close the book. Sometimes, Jen, they say in a relationship, you have to make a very tough decision. Do you turn the page or do you close the book? Coach Belichick said, I'm flipping the pages. Tom Brady, I'm finna close the book on your ass.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Wise words.
You like that?
You got a lot of relationship advice going on.
They know what they call me. They call me Dr. Shan. I'm coming for you, Dr. Ruth.
Is that your side
Dr.
gig?
Laura, Dr. Phil. They need to give me old Dr. Shay.
Well,
I would watch.
I don't know if I can compete with all that.
You got anything over there about
I got a lot over here. I'm starting to enjoy Mondays more and more because we got dueling radio gigs between Brady and Belichick.
Oh,
he says this, but he says, I can top that with this.
Yeah.
So true.
We've got dueling longevity now between the coach and the quarterback.
You see that,
and
too?
I am waiting for the quarterback to drop a new hint maybe next Monday on Westwood One, Jim Gray. I'm feeling really good. I'm thinking about 50. Maybe I can make it to 50, right? And then Belichick will say on his EEI gig.
He coaching the 80.
Wait a minute.
I'm thinking, 80 is the new 50, right? Aren't we headed there? Do you feel like it?
Yes.
Okay. It is very clear to all of us that Bill Belichick has become obsessed with winning a championship without Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
Or at least trying to.
Right.
He wants to prove I can do this without that guy because I want 100% of the credit instead of whatever you guys are debating about every day. Right? I say 75 to Brady, you say 75 to Belichick. He wants 100%. He wants to cement his legacy as the greatest coach ever because now there's a big old asterisk at the bottom of it. Tom Brady was his quarterback.
Right.
Okay? So you're like, I don't know about that one. That's a tough call.
Right.
So now he has, I'm going to use your term, he's starting to smell himself a little bit because he's got a defense people are starting to say could be historically great. Maybe it is historically great so far.
Yes.
Has it really played anybody? We think not. Not yet.
Right.
It has potential to be really good. I don't know if it's 85 Bears good because it doesn't come across that way to me.
Right.
But it's starting to puff out Belichick's chest because it's clear he has taken over as the quasi, maybe the unofficial defensive coordinator.
And didn't it look like his son was calling the defensive signals? Because his son had the chart, and it sure seemed like he was standing next to Gerard Mayo, who's the linebacker.
When it came time to call signals, he put his chart up and called something to somebody.
Yes.
He said something.
Yes.
And that is Steve, who's 32 years of age. And his title is he's secondary in charge of the safeties, only the safeties.
Right.
So could he be the unofficial defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
I don't know. Gerard Mayo kind of has the tag of it, but not the title, right? So is it possible Belichick's learned ventriloquism? Because maybe he can call plays without moving his lips. I don't know.
You may be right.
It could be that good.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, and for him to call plays, Skip, without a chart. We don't normally see that. Now, the only guy I've ever seen call plays without a chart was Paul Johnson, Georgia Tech coach. Yeah. He had no plays. He just put his hand, called a play, and send the guy in with it.
Okay, but that's offense.
That's offense. Okay. But for defensive guys, I mean, obviously, Coach Belichick knows this backwards and forward, but still, they give you a personnel on a down that you didn't expect. So you might need to go dime, you might need to go nickel, you might want to go base, you might want to flip out of a 3-4 to a 43. So for him to just blind willy-nilly, so that's what makes me think, Skip.
Then I saw a quote on Sunday from Belichick, and I'm not sure where it came from, in which he indicated, sometimes I just leave it up to the guys in the huddle.
Right.
Patrick Chung's supposed to be the play caller of the defense.
Correct.
Let them choose among options. They know what their options are. Let them go with their gut feeling on it, and that they'll usually be right on their gut feeling.
Okay.
I find that hard.
Hey, I find that. I got to Skip. I got to have that kind of control. A control freak like that. So you know what? I ain't worried about it. I'm just going to sit back and let everything, y'all call it whatever. Come on now.
Okay, so remember, what's the evolution? We went from Belichick allowing 41 points in the Super Bowl to the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles and losing 41-33.
Right.
To last year, especially the first half of the year, really into the first 2/3 of the year, there's some defensive disasters. Remember? Jacksonville, Tennessee, then the Miami miracle.
And even though they won the game, they still gave up 40 to my homeboy.
They did.
At home.
Well, that's true. And there's no shame in that. Right. But still, it was not a juggernaut last year until the Super Bowl. That's when they finally arrived. Right. Was that
the first divisional? The divisional against the Chargers.
Pretty good.
Because Chargers got down, scored, and then all of a sudden they just
came back in the fourth quarter and put up some numbers. But whatever. So off the Super Bowl, they have just sprung through the first half of this year.
Right.
They have played nobody, but again, it's the perfect Belichick throw your chest out because you don't have any stars. Well, you got Stephon Gilmore.
Stephon Gilmore,
and Jamie Collins has turned back into a star. But you don't have pass rush warriors where you say, that guy's first team all-pro. Right.
They don't have an Aaron Donald.
No.
They don't have a Khalil Mack, the Von Millers. They don't have, Skip, and you look at the great defenses. Not the 49ers. You look at Tampa. They don't have a Brooks. No. They don't have a Sapp. They don't have a Ray Lewis, a Rod Woodson. The 85 Bears that has Singletary and they don't have that.
They don't even have a Michael Bennett because they gave him to Dallas. Thank you very much.
You good about that?
Yep. Oh, I feel real good about that. I think Bill did a little favor to his buddy Jason Garrett, his summertime dinner buddy. I think they are Nantucket friends. So here's the point that he's pushing Tom harder and harder to play longer and longer. And I also believe that Tom Brady is becoming more and more obsessed with proving his coach wronger and wronger instead of longer and longer. Like he's trying to show, you think I'm done, you want me elsewhere, but I'm going to keep showing you so that Daddy upstairs will keep siding with me.
Because ultimately, that's his decision. At the end of the day, Skip, it's going to come down to Mr. Kraft. He's going to be the final. I know Coach Belichick normally has all the control, and from what we heard, that was the only time that Mr. Kraft has overridden Coach Belichick was in a situation like this. And I believe it's going to come down to a situation like this again. It's going to come down to Mr. Kraft is going to say, you know what, I'm siding with Tommy or I'm siding with Coach Belichick.
And so far, it's been all Tommy all the time.
It has been.
And I believe at the end of this year, it will be Tommy again. But now Belichick's saying 70-something. It doesn't matter, whatever it
because he tried to wait him out, Skip.
Yeah.
He said, even if Tom played, let's just say for the sake of argument, Tom plays till he's 45.
Yeah.
Coach Belichick says, I still can coach longer than you can play.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so all he had, Skip, Coach Belichick just has to be right because it was going back and forth. Is it Coach Walsh? Is it Joe Montana? But when Joe won the Super Bowl without Coach Walsh on the sidelines, now all of a sudden the pendulum swung a little bit in Joe's favor.
I believe it did.
And the same thing, Skip, if Tom Brady could win a Super Bowl without Coach Belichick, then it would be open and shut. The same thing, if Coach Belichick, see, I told you, Coach Belichick could win. Tom Brady's great, not to deny him that, but Coach Belichick won one without. And that's what, Skip, in their minds, it's not good enough, Skip, because when you get to that level, trust me, the bigger you are as a superstar, the bigger your ego is. And these guys, it's not good, Skip, it's not good enough to be 50-50. If one of them says, you know what, you get 51% of the credit, I'll take 49.
Yep. That
would be okay, but 50-50 is not good enough. I need to know somebody, Skip, somebody got to be in the front. We can't be a dead heat. Okay, well, I'm going to give 50% to him and 50% to him. No, it can't be that. Yep. Someone's got to get 51-49, and then I can rest at night.
So just for the record, Adam Schefter has reported that Belichick and Brady are getting along better than ever this year. I think that's an uneasy truce that's going on, just because, remember, winning cures everything.
Exactly.
So you just keep winning games. And, oh, yeah, we're getting along just fine. And he did give him the game ball after the Giants.
And what did Brady said? Unexpectedly, but glad that he got it.
Yep.
Paraphrasing.
So the only situation I can remotely compare to this was the Patriots of the NBA, my San Antonio Spurs. Remember what Greg Popovich used to say on almost a daily basis? When Tim Duncan, or as he called him, Timmy, when Timmy walks into the sunset, I'll be right behind him. Remember this?
Right.
That was 3 years ago, and Greg Popovich is still sitting in the coach's chair, and who's sitting beside him now as an assistant coach? Timmy.
Because, what do they say, Skip? Well, you had the greatest power forward to ever live. You should have won those titles.
Correct.
So if Coach Popovich can win one without Timmy D.
Okay, message to Coach Belichick. Coach Popovich has not won a championship without Timmy D.
No.
Because he lost it's the whole foundation of the franchise. The leader of the locker room was Tim Duncan.
I think he liked his chances had he could have kept Kawhi.
Thank you. I was going to bring that up because when number 2 quit his way out of San Antonio,
stop saying that. He quit.
Thank you for
that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He's
but hold on.
really good.
I would have thought, if somebody quit, I don't know how you operate, Jenny, but if somebody wrong, let's just say for the sake of argument, my brother's married.
Okay.
His wife wrongs him. She never gonna be cool with me again. Never, ever. Number 2 wronged you. He goes to the Clippers and now you hyping him.
What about forgiveness?
I forgive you, but I ain't never forget that bleep you did.
I don't know about you. You don't forgive that guy.
No, you say you never forgive him. You won't even address him by his name.
We're getting closer.
I
you
told
thought
you
about
after I watched him just
do
it to the Lakers. Just put it on them with no Paul George. Man, it was like, I kind of love that.
Oh, so you love that?
Yeah, I kind of love that.
The guy that quit on your team, 73 games, he said, no, I ain't playing. And now you love him again. You loving him up.
Well, at least he took one look at LeBron last summer and said, nah.
That's what he did.
Nah.
I
got this.
Magic saw it right here and said, had he not gotten Paul George, he'd have been a Laker.
Okay. Well, he did get Paul George, and that leads to our next.
I hope I don't wrong you guys, because I'll never get forgiven around here. It's a tough crowd. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Patriots do against Baltimore, though.
No mercy.
You know, after the Lakers' 120-101 win against the Hornets on Sunday, LeBron was raving about how well-rounded his team is defensively, and how their defense will lead to better offense. Take a listen to what the King had to say.
Defense will create the best offense for you, and we have a bunch of defensive-minded guys. Dwight has been a defensive player of the year. JaVale has always been very good defensively. AD as well. Avery, Danny was first-team all-defense last year. I've been on a couple of defensive teams as well, and KCP has always been solid. Rondo, when he comes back, and everyone is just buying into that. And if we can do that and just be on the string throughout the course of a game, then it's going to give our offense even better opportunities.
All right, Shannon, should LeBron be excited about his team's defensive capabilities?
They should, Skip, because they're big, they're a tall team.
Yeah.
They got guys that can protect the paint. Anthony Davis is as good a big at he can defend the pick and roll, he can protect the paint, he can protect the rim. So he's good. Dwight Howard is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. JaVale McGee is always in the top as far as block shots. As he mentioned, Avery Bradley is good perimeter defender. Danny Green is not what he once was, but he still can hound you a little bit. Rondo, although is not thought of, and he's not the on-ball defender as a Pat Beverly, but he has long arms, and he once, if I'm not mistaken, led the league in steals.
He can disrupt.
He gets a lot of deflection, kind of like Lonzo Ball.
Yep.
Does a great job of playing lanes, understanding where the guy wants to go with the ball, getting his hand in there, getting a deflection. And as LeBron mentioned, KCP is a solid defender. LeBron, although not what he once was, you see. What I've seen in the first 3 games, Skip, and I know it's a very, very small sample size, LeBron seems to be more engaged defensively the first 3 games than at any point over the last couple of years.
I'll buy that.
And I think that has a lot to do with it, Skip, because he's shouldering less of an offensive load.
Okay.
He's not being required to score 30 points on a nightly basis or grab 10, 12 rebounds or dish out. I believe that he will have a lead, average double-digit assist, but his rebounding total is going to come down because, as you saw Sunday night, Dwight had 10, JaVale had 14, JaVale chipped in, LeBron had a couple. So LeBron is not going to have the offensive load that he once did. So he'll be able to exert a little more. I'm not saying that he's going to do that on a nightly basis because, Skip, the guy still is in the year 17. We can't lose sight of that. So I don't want LeBron out there, trying to be sitting in that chair and trying to be Alvin Robertson, and guarding people all over the court. But just, we'll give you like 40% effort. That should be good.
40%?
On the defensive end.
40% from your best player on the defensive end?
No, very much.
You're accepting that?
Yeah, that's going to be good enough.
You're actually endorsing
That's
that?
going to be good enough, Skip Bayless.
Really?
Good enough, because we're going to run him into the alley.
Really?
Then let JaVale and Dwight Howard and the AD bash him
Play a
over the
little
head.
matador.
Yeah,
You guys get it.
No. We ain't just lay him.
Yeah.
We just going to funnel him in there. Say, okay, now I run you into one of them trapped in trees, all them arms everywhere. Get some quick baskets like that. But, Skip, they're going to have to be they're not a great three-point shooting team. They're going to have to defend because they still play that, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, they play it with the slowest pace through the first 3 games. So they're going to have to get some cheap basket steals, get out on the break and try to get some easy baskets in that way. But I think LeBron understands in order for you to win in this league, you're going to have to play defense. And they have the pieces. Now, I'm not saying, are they going to be the Clippers? No. No, they're not going to be the Clippers. But they have the pieces in place to be a lot better defensively this year than what they were last year. And I think that's a mindset. Defense is all about mindset, Skip.
Yep.
I'm not going to let you take me off the dribble this time. So we got this.
So you got this.
Got it.
So this is what I got. I got LeBron saying, I've been on a couple of defensive teams, meaning I can play a little defense too.
He can.
The last time LeBron James made first team all defense was 2013. That's a long time ago. The last time he even made second team all defense was 2014. Since then, no teams all defense.
No.
So 2014, and we're going on 2020 here. So this is a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
So when I first looked today and thought, God, the Lakers are allowing the 3rd fewest points in the league, I thought, that's pretty good. Is that a tribute to their new defensive mindset? Nope, it's a tribute to what you just brought up. They walk the ball up the court like nobody else because in pace, they are the slowest team in the league. And I know it's a small sample size, but what we do know is that LeBron has been playing the point, and he is playing slow at point. He is walking the ball into the offense quite a bit.
Right.
And his dribbling out front is not to create, it's more to sort of survey, you know, like what do I like here this time? And usually the surveillance leads to just a little wing pass out to AD, and then you do it. You go, right? I've seen way too much of that. So the point is they're 20th, tied for 20th in points scored. So that's not all that great. So their average score is 106 for them, 100 for the opposition. Right. And they played one good team, and they played... I'm not sure about the rest of it because I told you Bogdanovich did not play.
Bogey don't want to see us.
He doesn't want to see you? So he just sat that one because he didn't want to deal with it.
It doesn't matter. We're going to give him that work.
Because he knew LeBron was going to sit in that chair on him.
All Bogey remembers is Game 7. 45, 8-7. That's what he remembered.
He remembered LeBron taking this weird exit stage left where he went to the locker room for no apparent reason.
You know, Skip, the man had
cramps and he was walking just fine. It didn't look like he was cramped at all. And he just exited.
He had cramps.
Inexplicable.
You had cramps. He wasn't paralyzed.
And guess who took over the game? Kevin Love.
Yeah, Kevin Love scored 8 points.
He took it over. He scored 8 points in about like 2 clock minutes.
But did he have 20 points total?
Yeah. He did.
No.
Okay. Well,
So-
but I mean, he
the-
changed the game. He saved the game. When LeBron came back in, they had gone from like up 2 to up 8.
Right.
Ball game.
But if
Way to
LeBron
go.
hadn't done what he done, they wouldn't even been up, Skip. You know that.
That was the Indiana Pacers we're talking about. Survived.
Oh,
that
they play basketball. They don't play basketball. No.
Okay, so the point here is that it's hard to be a defensive juggernaut when your best player, LeBron James, no longer has the mindset that you're talking about.
Right.
Because he's more offense than defense. You just gave him the 40% pass.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay? So it's hard for them to be the Clippers because the Clippers are going to take extreme pride in playing defense.
Except Sunday when Book cooked everybody that was on the
Really?
court.
Huh.
Oh, Devin Booker cooked Pat Bev, fouled him out, cooked Kawhi. Kawhi wanted no part of that.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Huh.
Nope. Didn't want Book.
Triple-double in that game.
No,
Interesting.
all I do, well, you should have cut out some of those points and assists and D'd up on Book.
Really?
Book him, Dano.
Last night, number 2 had 2 steals and 3 blocks. Is that good? That's pretty
What about,
good.
hold up. What did my guy do against that same team?
Against switch
The
team.
Hornets.
Yeah.
Oh, now, hold on. You say the Hornets are going to be the worst team. Now you just hyping them. Now, did they get better between the time they played LeBron and when they played Kawhi? Because yesterday you told me they were some garbage. Now you hyping them. What Kawhi did. I'm trying to figure out.
It's hard for the Clippers to take them very seriously after what the Lakers did to them. Right?
So that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of harsh, but okay.
Okay.
Fine.
But hold up. Don't we deal with y'all on Christmas? We're going to deal with y'all on Christmas. On Christmas.
You better.
We're going to deal with y'all on
Be
Christmas.
ready. So the problem right now is LeBron is playing point guard, and I thought he would play faster. Maybe he will start playing faster because they need to start pushing the ball because
You got to get some easy buckets.
you got to get some head of steam buckets, where you're flying down the court.
But he did that in the fourth quarter, Skip. You remember
did.
he
I saw
exploded
a
for like
little
4.
bit.
Yeah.
I would agree. So what do we hear from our man Frank Vogel, who's on the hottest seat in the NBA right now? Because this team is going to be hard to coach, especially with those assistants sitting down the bench.
Yeah.
Because they've all got big opinions, and they got good opinions because they've been there and
They've
done
been
all
here.
that.
Yep.
Jason Kidd, Lionel Hollins,
Right.
and on down Miles Simon. A lot of guys.
A lot of people don't realize Lionel Hollins was a player in the NBA. He was on the 77 Trailblazers
He
team
was that won, and he was a good player.
He was.
He was a good
A
coach.
lefty.
Is a good coach. So what did we hear from Frank Vogel? I think it was last Friday that majority of the games at point guard are going to be started by Rondo, he
Right.
said.
Good.
Wow, he's a big Rondo fan. And then we saw a tweet from Dave McMenamin of ESPN, I think it was on Saturday, and it had been clarified to McMenamin that actually Rondo will start fewer than 10 games at point guard this year. So that sounds like somebody got to Frank Vogel and said, you better amend that statement.
Now, there
It
you
might
go.
have been the king.
There you go.
The king. You can't mess with the throne.
No, see, there you
Right?
go. You always try to see. You say.
Well, how do you explain that?
There you went.
It's
Skip,
pretty weird.
Clarification.
Yeah.
The same reason, what I'm saying. It was a quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying?
He's going to start a majority of the games, which means fewer than 10. Wait, they play 82.
Well,
I don't know.
They're down
Doesn't add up.
They're down to 79 now.
Huh. Maybe that means that LeBron is going to start just about all the games.
Well, here's the thing, Skip. I would like to see LeBron play off the ball a little bit more. And Magic came on the show on Friday and mentioned it says, like,
He did.
Playing the point all game long takes a lot out of you.
It does.
That's why I have.
And by the way, to your point, Magic also said, I always wanted the easiest guy on defense so I could take a little time off.
But that's what only really, Skip, when you think about it, only Jordan was probably of the great players always was willing to take the tough assignment.
That's true.
They did that with Larry. They did, now obviously with Big, Skip, you can't put a Big on Elijah Wan couldn't take a break and says, okay, I'm going to guard Charles Smith or Oakley and let somebody else guard Patrick Ewing. You had to take that. But for the most part, young, small guys, they normally, like, if you're a good player, they're not going to give you the toughest defensive assignment because they need your offense. Well, they needed Magic to score.
Yep.
They couldn't have Magic trying to chase Isaiah all over the court and try to D these guys up. But Jordan, give him credit. That's one thing. Hey, you remember Goat James used to do that too now. You remember Goat James used to do that, Skip? Because him and Paul George had him and Paul Pierce, ever since he did that number on Paul Pierce, that Game 6. You remember that Game 6 in the Garden?
Ancient history.
You remember that, Skip?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, man, Paul Pierce was never the same.
Yeah.
Paul was never the same after that.
Well, LeBron's not the same.
Oh, he's still the same.
Yeah. No, he's not. You just said you just gave him the 40%.
Yeah, no, Skip.
Can't sit in a chair.
So let me ask you a question. You think Kawhi going to be sitting in the chair year 17? Well, he might. Hell, he keep taking 25, 30 games a year. He might play. He might sit in the chair at 20 years in.
He's not in year 17. He's in year 1 with the Clippers. And that team is going to be the equivalent, I think, of the 85 Bears in the NFL. That team, when Paul George gets ready, when he's ready to go, it's going to suffocate teams like the 98 Bulls did, because that team's calling card, and I covered that team in Chicago, that team played defense to offense.
Well, they were
that
loaded.
team suffocated.
Well, they come out with Jordan and Rodman and Pippen and Ron Harper. I mean, then what you got? What you going to do?
They had an early round playoff series against Charlotte that year, and Charlotte had a bunch of shooters, Glenn Rice and company. And after game 1, the first game they had played at Charlotte, I saw Bob Bass, the GM of the team, and he said, we can't even get our offense started past half court because when you go Jordan, Pippen, Harper across the front, well, it starts to remind me of number 2 and Paul George and Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, but I mean, Jordan was just Jordan, and Pippen was on another level.
Yep.
Rodman, although he wasn't the player that he was when he won those Defensive Player of the Year, he still could get after you. Ron Harper was still on the ball.
I agree. So, and it's all about mindset.
Yes.
I agree with you. And I do like all the little pieces that you have, because they do have a bunch of guys who have played defense before, but it's up to the leader to set the tone, and I'm not sure he can set it.
He said it.
Unless you tell me AD is the leader of the team.
Don't worry about it. We don't worry about that.
We don't have
We just
leaders?
gonna play. That's why we don't have C's on our jersey.
Really?
You notice that the Patriots don't have a C. They got one C. They got one captain.
Yeah.
That Coach Belichick.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Got one
Irish.
captain.
Irish. I'm the captain.
No. You love saying that.
No mercy.
The Browns are off to a disappointing 2-5 start this season, and an article in USA Today attempted to assign the blame in Cleveland. The front office was given the most blame with 30%, followed by Freddie Kitchens with 25%. Cleveland's schedule and Baker Mayfield were each given 15% of the blame, while preseason expectations earned 10%. And the offensive line got 5% of that blame. So, Shannon, who do you think deserves the majority of the blame?
I think Freddie K, Skip, deserves the lion's share of the blame because I believe he's in over his head.
Yep.
I mean, you take a guy that's never called plays before in his life. He was a running back coach, and you anoint him. And I'm surprised.
He called plays the back half of
back half of last year.
First time in his career.
Skip, and what makes this so amazing that this happened is that the expectations that were placed on this team. Normally, if you got a team that you say, you know what, I think we're ready to contend, you go get a proven commodity. You don't go get an unknown for a team that you believe is going to be there to contend. So I'm gonna give, you know what, Skip? I'm gonna assess 33% blame to Freddie.
33.
33.
Okay.
I'm gonna give 23 to Baker. Skip, he's been abysmal. He's not tied Jameis Winston for the most interceptions in the NFL with 12. The difference is between him and Jameis. Jameis has 14 touchdowns. Baker has 6. No, normally, Skip, you want that to be the other way around. You want 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, not interception to touchdown ratio. Skip, he's been terrible. And I think the thing is what has happened to us, and it happened to me, is that you look at what he did his rookie year. He threw more touchdowns than any rookie had ever thrown before. And we've had some great rookies. Russell Wilson comes to mind, Andrew Luck, RG3 had a tremendous rookie season, Peyton Manning, and he threw more touchdowns than all of them.
He did.
And you're like, man, Baker take that next step, yada, yada, yada. He got his guy, Freddie K. He loved him, called him plays, put him in the best situations, and it didn't happen. And then again, Skip, what I always tell you, the number one killers of careers is expectations.
Yep.
Because what had happened, we saw the guys that left Pittsburgh, A.B., Le'Veon, and we're like, there got to be some comeback. There got to be some slippage. There's no way you can lose those caliber players and ascend. Now, I get it. Sometimes it's an addition by subtraction. But I'm like, I don't know. And then you're like, okay. And then Ben goes down early. But we didn't know that, Skip. Okay. Cincinnati, we knew it Cincinnati now. I don't think we thought they'd be 0-8, but we knew they were going to struggle this year.
Yikes.
Baltimore, the unknown. How good is the quarterback going to be? Now, we know he can run the football. He's one of the more dynamic runners in NFL history at the quarterback position. But is he going to be able to throw the ball? Now, the thing that we know for certain is that Baker, he can throw it. He's accurate. He takes care of the football.
Yep.
They traded for Odell. You pair him with Jarvis Landry, Higgins, Callaway, and Joker, who've gotten hurt. But like, man, you trade for Olivier Vernon. You get Greedy Williams. You pair him with Denzel Ward. You look at Myles Garrett. You're like, okay, yeah. Skip, even if we didn't think they'd make a Super Bowl run, we thought they'd win the division, at least get a home. You win your division, you're going to get a home game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And boom. And here we are. Skip, I guess USA Today, Skip, what they did is that they blamed the front office for hiring Freddie K.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can see them assessing blame to them. They hired because they gave Baker what he needed. You know, you go make a trade for Odell. Odell is a very good receiver. We thought he was one of the tops. Now, he hadn't played that way consistently and for whatever reasons, but this has been abysmal. I don't see how Freddie lasts past this season unless something drastically, and I mean drastically, turns around, Skip. But this has been a disaster. Freddie, Baker, expectations.
So, for the record, I did not love the Browns the way you did going into the season. And I will give you and them this. The back half of their schedule gets much easier, so they could still get it back together. So I'm not going to write them completely off.
Yes.
If we have to assess blame for right here, right now, it is mind-blowing that they hired Freddie K. It's inconceivable, and I first guessed this, so I'm not just doing 20/20 hindsight. I said, this is preposterous. This guy has no resume. And all of a sudden, he's the head coach. I mean, at least Cliff Kingsbury had been the head coach at Texas Tech, so you knew how it felt to run the program, right?
And they give him but Skip, Arizona's an upstart.
Yeah.
That wasn't a team that you said, oh, they're going to contend, and you hire Cliff Kingsbury.
You give that guy this team and say, here, go.
Yes.
Do it. Go win the division. Go make a deep run in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
I got to give Baker some of the blame for Freddie K because I'm pretty sure he endorsed him like crazy.
Absolutely.
I think he went to Jimmy Haslam, the owner, and said, him.
Right.
I need him.
Right.
Because it's one thing to have a big brother calling your plays as the coordinator. It's another thing if you strap him with all the responsibilities of trying to run the football team.
When we leaving, where we staying, practice schedule, I need to hire staff.
Handling the media, which is harder and harder, and he gets more and more defensive by the game.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and then the bigger picture is somebody had to sign off on, let's go get Odell. Was it Dorsey? Did it go all the way up to Haslam?
Oh, you make a move like this, it's going all the way to the top.
Okay. It's just, it was a bad idea to start with. He makes way more money than he is worth to me. And by the way, on Sunday, I'm watching Stephon Gilmore just took him all over the field. And I'm pretty sure he was single on him most of the game. And Odell did not look that explosive to me. I don't know. I didn't see him separate, but that guy is really, really good. Because that corner, Stephon, he's big and he's physical and he is a shrewd operator.
Yeah, and that's the thing what Coach Belichick says, be physical, put hands on them. They're not going to throw a flag on every play.
No.
So they might get you one. Because remember, Skip, the drive that they called 2 pass interference on that drive. But after that, it was nothing. So Coach Belichick's allowed them to beat him up. Plus, it was cold, it's wet, it's that. Woo, Skip, those are ideal conditions for a defense.
Okay, I got you. So when you look at the bigger picture of Odell, it was a bad idea to start with, but Odell in Cleveland is a worse idea because he's just not going to be happy.
He don't want to be happy. He doesn't want to
do this. It's not Odell. He's Big Apple. He's Manhattan. Give me New York, right? Give me Park Avenue
or L.A.
Yeah,
because remember he wanted L.A. You know,
or L.A.
Yeah.
So to me, Baker has crumbled trying to force the ball to Odell. And Odell, after the game, maybe it was yesterday, said, we didn't exploit the single coverage on me enough. But Baker's staying back there. He's holding the ball longer and longer because he's trying to wait for Odell to get free.
Yeah.
And he loves Odell. They're close off the field. You can't keep forcing to him and have the continuity in the ball distribution he had last year. It was fun to watch last year, but he's throwing to guys you never heard of. Rashard Higgins, Antonio Callaway. You're saying, who are these people? Well, it's working.
And Skip, you said when Baker came out, he had like the highest completion percentage in QBR. Mayfield has the second worst completion percentage of any quarterback that started this year. Only Josh Rosen is worse. Josh Rosen got sent to the bench.
Okay. So now let's look at the other side of the ball, which we have not looked at one time all year on this show. The Cleveland Browns now rank 21st in yards allowed and 22nd in points allowed, and Pro Football ranks that defense 28th worst, we could say, in the league. That's terrible. Would Greg Williams would he be a little better with? Remember, and again, the corners have both been hurt for a while, but Denzel and Greedy, but they're really talented kids. They're kids, and Myles Garrett is obviously a big talent. And you added Olivier Vernon, and you would think that, and you love the Schobert. Yeah, and I do. I love him too. Okay, that's better than that.
Skip, I think the thing is, I'm gonna try to defend the defense a little bit, Skip. I think their defense is good, not great. But what you can't do is put them in harm's way. When you turn the ball over like Baker, when you fumble the football like what we've seen from Chubb and some of these running backs, that defense is not good enough to overcome that. We've seen the Patriots sometimes when, Tom gets, the scoop and score, there's nothing you can do about a scoop and score. But I'm saying, Skip, you give it, Baker threw that interception, Skip, and put him on the 11-yard line. I mean, at worst case scenario, they're going to get points. And just think about all the field goals. I mean, when Freddie pulled his move, Skip, Sunday, on 4th and 11, he's going to punt the ball. They get a false start. They get 4th and 16, and he brings the offense back on the field. Skip, if you're going to go for it, you didn't want to give up. Why the hell did you even bring the punt team over?
Which brings me back to Baker Mayfield. I'm going to say it again. I read that he and his wife, 20 commercials just for Progressive, and there are all kinds of versions of his house, which is the stadium, obviously. I feel like every other commercial that I watch is a Baker commercial, right? He's cleaning up his house, or he's going all the way back to get her a straw, right? It just goes on and on. You better be careful in this league. You're going to paint that target so big on your back. I'm just
trying to figure out, Skip. Where is that chip? Baker say you know what I noticed? They got that chip. Guy got a chip when they're winning. I don't see no chip when they're losing. Where's that chip? That moxie. I love Baker Mayfield. I love my quarterback to show. Skip, where is it? But Freddie, this falls on you. Did you know, Skip, they lead the league in penalty and penalty yards? What is that?
Well,
that's head coaching.
And they're running away with by far.
Freddie, but Caesar said the heavy money for MVP is coming in on who, Skip? Baker Mayfield.
I know.
So he was the it kid. Merchandise sales.
Hey, man, I got me trumpeting the bandwagon. Got me, take it back. Brady K, they gonna do this thing.
Are you off now?
Man, them jokers, they'll pull the fast one on me, Skip. They got me.
They had one big game at Baltimore, and it was impressive.
Yes,
it's true.
Yes.
It's true.
And that's it the whole year. Yeah, they beat the Jets, but Baker didn't play particularly well in that game.
He did not.
And he didn't play, and he hasn't played well really since that Baltimore game, Skip.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of Baltimore, you made mention of. We don't know if that quarterback can throw well enough to take them to the promised land. Well, Sunday night, we'll start finding out, won't we?
Because I don't believe Coach Belichick going to let him beat him.
Here comes New England to Baltimore. So let's see if he can throw it, because he's going to have to throw it to beat this defense.
Yeah, but Skip, I don't know if I run a whole lot of zero blitz. You run zero blitz like this kid, and if that kid breaks the line of scrimmage.
Well, I know, okay.
You gonna see that situation like that wide receiver.
He'll do that.
I don't think. I'm going to force him to throw the ball in the tight windows.
Yeah, and I think he's going to see coverages he's never even dreamed of seeing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, all
Here
right.
we go.
Looking forward to it.
But I'm not writing the Browns off. I want to make it clear.
Really?
They could make a little run in that division.
Right.
They could make a run.
So if they make the playoffs, Freddie K keeps his job?
Well, yeah, if they make the playoffs. It's just going to be hard to believe they're going to get that far. But maybe.
They do face the Broncos next. So if they can get back on track against anyone, sorry, Shannon, this is the team.
Well, no Joe Flacco.
We got Brandon Allen. He's never thrown a pass in the NFL. That's your guy at QB, which is a tough situation for you. I don't even know if you have anything to say there.
No. Good luck, Bronco fans. Hang in there. We trying.
Thank you for that. On that note, we're going to move on to the World Series. Last Sunday in Washington, D.C., Garrett Cole had 9 strikeouts in 7 innings, and the Astros hit 3 home runs in a 7-1 win to take the pivotal Game 5. The series now shifts back to Houston tonight, and the Astros are 1 win away from winning their 2nd World Series in the past 3 seasons. Houston will go with Justin Verlander Game 6, while the Nationals will turn to Steven Strasburg. So, Shannon, who are you rooting for tonight?
Skip, I'm rooting for a very close ball game. I want some suspense. I want some drama. There's been no suspense, no drama in this World Series because they've been runaways.
That's true.
So I want to get to the 9th inning, and I want some suspense. And I hope the Nationals win because I want to hear, because everybody keeps telling me the most two important words in sports is Game 7, and I want to see one.
I'm with you on that. I root for Jose Altuve.
Oh.
Just love him. I love to watch him. I love to watch him defend. I love to watch him swing from his heels. And I do root for the Astros because of that. I don't think they're going to win tonight. So in the end, I would love to see the Astros win Game 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I root for him too. Love watching the guy. Gonna be a good one. World Series Game 6 coverage starts 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
No mercy.
Russell Westbrook came up 1 assist shy of a triple-double last night against the Thunder. It was Westbrook's first game against the team that he played 11 seasons for, and sure enough, he got the last laugh in the 116-111 win. James Harden went just 8 for 21 from the floor, but thanks to 22 free throw attempts, the Beard had a game-high 40 points. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joins us. Chris, how is this working in Houston? What do you think?
Well, I think to answer this question, we have to have the context. And the context is this. The way we're going to define whether or not this worked at the end of the year is championship. At the very least, Skip, they got to get to the finals. Because I could have kept Chris Paul and his more favorable contract and just got to the Western Conference Finals, got to Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
It is finals or championship or bust.
Okay.
So that's the context I'm looking at this in, and I'm going to answer the question. From that standpoint, no, it's not working because I don't see any type of, I don't see them playing championship basketball. Now, they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
They're going to win 50-plus games. They're going to be sexy. They're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be dangerous. They're going to make the playoffs. But are they playing the type of ball that can win you a championship to beat the Lakers or the Clippers? Not to mention Denver, maybe, or Utah? No. And because the type of basketball they're playing is taking turns.
Yep.
Russ is dominating for 6 minutes. James dominates for 7 minutes. Russ dominates for 4 minutes. James dominates for 6 minutes.
Okay.
And beyond that, what's even most discouraging is that I feel like watching them, they're now feeling like, okay, I used to have the ball for 35 minutes to do what I had to do. Now I only have it for 20 minutes to do what I had to do. So when I get it, right, that's why James Harden shooting 28% and 15% from 3, because when he gets it, it's like I got to do my thing. And when Russ gets it, Russ is actually playing a little smoother.
Russ is playing Russ.
But I just don't. And then when I hear Mike D'Antoni and even the players say, we going to figure it out. That's the strategy. How's this going to work? We'll figure it out. They're playing street ball. And they're so talented that they're going to beat most teams playing street ball. But again, the context, the goal is, can you beat a disciplined, talented Clippers team? Can you beat a talented Lakers team playing this way? I don't think so. So they are what I thought they were.
Okay.
Skip, it looked like to me that these two individuals, Russ and James Harden, are really great individuals playing a team sport. And Chris laid it out, is that they take turns. And that's what Kevin Durant and Russ did when it's your turn, now it's my turn. James Harden is shooting 28% from the floor. Skip, 15% from the 3. James Harden is 6 of 40 from the three-point line. And yeah, you look at his stat lines like he had 40. But here's the problem that James runs in every year. They don't call it like that in the playoffs. So you don't get to shoot 22 times at the free throw line, and then he's jumping up and down and then talk about the officials. Bro, they don't call it like that. The thing that's so amazing about me is that I still don't know. Whatever Russ take it, I need it. For him to exert that kind of energy, Skip, every night since he's been in the league, and especially since he's on this pace, this historic triple-double, Skip, he's chasing down everything. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but Russ is unbelievable that he can exert that kind of energy. But But they're not winning no championship with this. These two, they're not winning no championship, Skip Bayless. You know that. I know that.
I don't know that. Are you speaking for me? Because I think it might be my turn.
Well, you go ahead and take it away.
Because I'm sorry, I got to get my TV fixed. I love what I've been seeing from these two because it is working. And when his shot starts working, you better look out because they're going to start blowing people off the floor. Think about this. He is 6 for 40 from three, as you point out.
Right.
Wow.
6 for 40? There are two guys who have lost their shot so far. Mike Conley Jr., poor little Mike. I love Mike Conley, and he just can't throw it in the ocean. You know, he's 3 for 20 from three. He just can't buy a basket.
Yeah.
James, all he does is shoot free throws. But when he shoots free throws, listen, he is not getting enough credit. James Harden, he might be the all-time greatest high-volume free throw shooter we've ever seen in the history of basketball.
Because nobody shoot that many.
Yeah, look what he's done so far. He's made 46 of 48 free throws. He's running away with both categories as he did last year. He buried the field in attempts and makes last year in free throws. He shot 88%, but he's shooting so many more than everybody else. 88 is really good. He's at 96% now, 46 of 48. It's so many extra points. I watched their whole game last night. And at the end, the announcer said, and that's 40 for James Harden because he just casually made the two that iced the game.
Right.
He just walks up there like, it's not a little deal. Look at DeMar DeRozan for my Spurs last night. Gagged two at the free throw line that could have iced it. James just walks up there like, ho-hum.
He's cool.
Problem.
Yeah,
He's
and
cool.
he just swishes them. Well, I'm watching Russ do all the dirty work for James because you're right. I don't know. It's like he's playing possessed. And he's
averaging a triple-double, basically.
He's averaging a triple. He is.
It's
He's at 24, 13, and 10 so far. And I know it's a very small sample size, but he is your basic whirling dervish. He is your Tasmanian devil. He is your human tornado of energy and emotion and passion. He's willing to do whatever it takes to go scratch and claw for every rebound, dive out of bounds. They didn't have that with CP3.
No.
Russ is so much better than Chris is at this stage of their equal careers right
But Skip,
now.
Russ is like, man, if I get this rebound, that's another chance for me to shoot it.
Right.
Yeah, I was
That's
trying
what
to
I'm-
give me
That's
another
the
shot.
thing.
But how about the assist? I think we have it. That assist where he went and got the ball on a miss and then he just
kicked it
attacks and
Kicked it in the corner to
Look at this. He just attacks again and boom, there's Tuck.
PJ.
Yeah.
What you do, like him in this system.
Yeah.
Again, either like we've seen Harden in it by himself and he's dominant. Russ in this system by himself will put up outlandish numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he's willing to sacrifice some of his ego because he has lost so much in his career. He realizes they have a chance to be good. I got him in the conference finals. You're right. It's got to be at least conference finals.
Okay, but even let's say they get to the conference finals. Is that success though? For them, I know it's a great season and they're a great team. They're one of the top,
I
5
have to
teams
know
in the
how
league.
the finals played out. Did it go 7 games? Was it the Clippers or the Lakers? Who is it going to be? And did they push them to the brink? Did it go to the last shot? I need to know that.
Okay.
Did they get wiped out? Did James disappear as he has occasionally?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, would you like that matchup, Skip? I mean, because you got Paul. I mean, you see those defenses. I think they might have a favorable matchup, but Paul George, Pat Bev, and Kawhi.
Well, that's going to be hard for anybody to deal with. Trust me.
Right, no question.
Yeah.
What they are is a little better and bigger version of Lillard and C.J. McCollum in Portland. Yeah. That's what they are. These two do everything, just like the guys in Portland. They create every shot. I mean, both of them are going to have a ton of assists because they're penetrating and they throw it up in Capella finishes. Right. Like, I'm with you. It won't shock me if they get to the conference finals.
Okay, just remember, between CJ and Dame, who I watched last night, give my Spurs some fits, but they don't rebound the basketball, and they're not high assist guys.
Right.
So Russ can do those their dirty work. Right. He's going to lead this team in rebounds at the rate he's going, right?
And he's probably going to lead them in assists also.
He just might.
Yeah.
He just might. Okay, what's wrong with that?
No.
Okay, is that not blending?
It's not. You think taking turns basketball is going to win a championship?
Okay, I just see there's no turn taken. I just see James do what James does.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't work together.
Then be home.
Right.
Okay. Russ is finding little ways to do big things in this offense. He's just looking for every little opening. I'll do that. I can do that too.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm seeing something that can be really good.
It's like I said, it's what I thought it was. They're going to be very good.
Yes. They're going to be very entertaining.
Right. But they're not going to be able to win the championship. Not playing like this.
Well, you said Lakers 56 wins, and I told you that day before the season started, this team has the better chance to win 56 games.
Yeah, they'll probably win about that number. See, here's the thing. And again, I put the context, championship or bust or finals or bust. But it's also the franchise.
Right.
This is not Minnesota or some franchise that's never done anything. The Rockets have won championships. Like, everybody praises Daryl Morey. He's been good. But it's not like he built the Rockets. They won championships before Daryl Morey got there with Olajuwon, and even before Olajuwon with Moses Malone.
So my question, bottom line is this. Are they a little better than they were a year ago? Yes.
A little better.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean they're going to go a little further than what they went last year.
But I'll take a little better.
I think that's even questionable.
Really?
Because the thing that what is Russ shooting from three? Russ is shooting 36% from three. You mentioned, we know Harden's going to pick it up. But is Russ going to stay at 36%? Russ's threes percentage is going to drop. He's not going to shoot 50% from the field, I don't think. So I think those are coming down.
To be objective about this, when all of a sudden Oklahoma City needed to foul somebody last night, Chris Paul went right to Russell Westbrook and went hack a Russ.
Right.
You got to shoot these free throws.
Right.
Okay.
And so the thing that Chris brought was he was a legitimately good shooter. And so I think it was easier for him to play off James. Defensively, Russ is obviously more energetic and just bothersome.
Right.
But Chris was a really strong, solid defender and all that. So I'm leaving it open to see if they're really better. They're good. But
I think they're
I just don't think a champion.
Why the old Lake Show tonight?
Yeah.
We got something from old Breeze. No, Skip, don't do that.
Boy, I'm impressed. Ja Morant,
Ja Morant.
raw rookie.
Hold on. The same teams that the Lakers are playing, the Clippers are playing. and you talking about, did you see Kawhi's stat line last night? And he just killed them yesterday talking about Hornets. Hornets should be an expansion team. And then he praising Kawhi. Did you see that stat line?
Did you see 2 steals and 3 blocks? Woo.
He's balling.
We had to soften him up. You see what Bron did?
I saw opening night. I saw Lakers Clippers, and that's all I needed.
Lakers have improved a lot in a short time.
We got something for your Christmas. I want you to have that energy on Christmas. While you sit around.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
We got time before then.
No mercy.
So the Warriors have their first win of the season after losing their first 2 games by a combined 47 points. Golden State held off New Orleans for a 134-123 win. Steph Curry had a team-high 27 points, while Draymond Green had a triple-double. Despite the win, Draymond said, quote, "We're still not a very good team." So Chris Broussard's still with us. Chris, will the Warriors make the playoffs? Yeah. Think about it.
I hope I'm wrong. I hate to say it, but no. The best case scenarios, they hang around the 9th, 10th seed. Even if it's 11th, you're within a few games of 8th. And then Clay comes back in March, and maybe you can make a surge. But looking at this team right now, remember Jeff Van Gundy, of what we're essentially watching during the finals, this is when he said that's not even a playoff team out there. This is basically the same. And they had Iguodala at least. But they've got 3 problems. One, they are historically bad defensively. I mean, it's hard to imagine that this defense was part of their calling card. They are terrible. They're last in the league in points allowed, 130 a game. Last in the league in opponents' field goal percentage, 59%. Last in the league in three-point percentage by opponents, 51%. Opponents are hitting 51% of their threes. So defensively, KD was a very good defender. Clay was a very good defender. And Iguodala, people just talk about Clay and KD. Iguodala was not only the great defender, but he was big on that team. And here's the other thing about Iguodala. If you look at his history, he told me this himself, and then I went and checked it out, and it lined up. He's a winner. When he was in Philadelphia, Skip, remember, they pushed the big 3 Celtics to Game 7 of the second round. He goes to Denver. All of a sudden, Denver's good. They win 57 games, I think, with George Karl. He goes to Golden State. All of a sudden, they became, he is a winner wherever he goes. And so losing him defensively, they're a joke. But then how do you counter bad defense? Well, you outscore them. But who's going to score other than Steph?
Right.
I think D'Angelo Russell, an all-star in the East, not the West. Not the West. Okay. And I think he's going to be up and down. Now, I'll give him, he's averaging 17, but I'll give him a break because he got kicked out of the one game against OKC and he only had 6 points. But I think he's generally going to be a little inconsistent. And Draymond, who probably is a Hall of Famer, or certainly you can make a case for him, but he's a Dennis Rodman, Wes Unseld Hall of Famer. He's not one of those guys that's going to score. Like, he does the other things. So I can't count on him for 16 a night like he gave me last night. His career high is 14 per game for a season. So where am I getting the scoring to combat this atrocious defense? And the third problem is they got a target on their back. Because for 5 years, they've been shimmying, and Draymond been talking trash, and the media adoration of these guys, and maybe even a little like brothers like Shannon, the light skin, whatever, they going at him.
Y'all about to leave. Y'all about to be out of style again.
They going at him. So, but you know what? But I'll finish with this quickly. I don't think, like Clay said, our window is not closed. I think this year, they say they don't make the playoffs, you get Clay back, they make a few moves. I still think that core can eventually compete for championships again. So
I think it's less likely they make the playoffs, Skip. I'm saying Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Rockets, Jazz, Blazers. Those are locks. I ain't mentioned the Spurs.
I think the Spurs are pretty
okay.
What about only 3-0? But go ahead.
I'm just saying. I believe those are locks. Okay, Mavericks look good.
They do,
and they are talented.
Minnesota. Carl Anthony Towns has been a monster.
Liking it.
So, Skip,
listen, young Zion will be a monster if
Fair.
they can get him rolling.
I'll be waiting for that.
So, Skip, and when you look at it, teams aren't afraid of them. 90% of the teams knew they couldn't beat Golden State on a nightly basis because they could walk in there with that big three, with that big four they had. It's like, okay, let's just hopefully we don't get beat by 2025. Skip, when I look at D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry, that's more of an odd pairing than James Harden and Russell Westbrook. I'm like, they don't go together. I mean, what are they doing? D-Lo needs the ball. He became an all-star because he had the ball in his hands all the time at the net.
That's true.
Well, in Golden State, that's hot potato. We trying to pass the ball. But pass the ball to who? Who gonna score?
Yeah.
Skip always bring this up. You remember when LeBron James said they lost to the Pelicans right before the All-Star game and said, we top heavy as bleep? Well, they was top heavy as bleep. And now you see them top heavy pieces leave, and you see the bleep that it left behind. They in trouble.
They were top heavier. Top heavy, because they were about as top heavy as you could get. I'll take that kind of top heavy.
And that's the thing, Skip. So you lose KD and his 26, 27 points. You lose Clay that's going to give you 20 in lockdown defense, big shots, night in, night out. Iggy, he's not the scorer, but he going to hit timely shots, and he can D up. Sean Livingston, he wasn't the Sean Livingston, the old off the bench, but he can buy. Man, I'm looking at these guys that play. I'm like, who is this?
Who is it?
When did they get him? When they get Big Puppy? Not Big Dog, they got Big Puppy on it. I'm like, who is Jordan Poole? Where did he come from? Eric Pascal.
I remember in Michigan, just because my daughter went there. That's the only way I know it.
Damian Lee, Omari Spell. I'm like, hold on, where did he guy come from? And you go, Skip, they in trouble. They in trouble. And post Steph. Now, we gonna see, because everybody like Steph, bad Steph, a top 5 player. Okay, top 5, get him going.
So you made a great point to start with about Iggy, because you're right. He is a difference maker. And I know he's a little past his prime now, but man, he changed the 2015 finals when he got inserted into the starting lineup. And he obviously won MVP. You thought Steph deserved maybe a little bit more, but whatever. He still won MVP.
He still played great,
Played great on both ends. Because he took LeBron and he scored like crazy, given what you thought he was. And I think he was actually the unsung leader of this locker room. I think when push came to shove, and it was push to shove between KD and Draymond, I think they looked to Iggy to solve it.
He kept it together when it started fraying, and probably would have frayed a lot sooner had Iggy not been in that dress.
Totally agree. So what happened the first 2 nights out was that Golden State walked out like, we're Golden State. And the Clippers and then the Thunder said, no, you're not.
No.
Watch this.
No, you're not.
And the Clippers hung 141 on them, to your point. And then the Thunder at Oklahoma City, what's left of the Thunder, Without Russ, they'd score 120 on them and just wipe them out, just blow them right off the court. Well, that's pretty embarrassing. And I got to pretty much disqualify what happened last night in New Orleans, because New Orleans was down 3 starters if we include Zion, because Favors didn't play and Drew Holiday was not able to play last night, and E'Twaun Moore didn't play, and I don't know exactly why. He was there but didn't play. So my point is that wasn't nearly full-strength Pelicans that you took advantage of. And I'm with Shannon on this one. It's all about Steph Curry. And I used to be the biggest fan of his, but I've said this on TV several times over the last couple of years. He became the biggest hot dog in the league.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just rubbing it in, shaking, dancing.
You remember shoot the 3 and turn before the ball.
And all his,
everybody's going at him with that.
And all his pregame antics, and it's fun to watch. And I know he's putting on like an Odell kind of show before the game. But after a while, it just gets just starting to wear on my nerves, and I love the guy.
Yeah.
You can't keep doing that to people. Well, now he's going to get it right back in his face.
Well, Pat Beverly told him.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all look different now without KD home.
Yeah, like the last 5 years were yours, and not that he had a good comeback to Pat Beverly. He said, "You're 31." He said, "The next 5 years are ours or mine or whatever." Well, you're 31.
Like, you my age. What you mean the next 5 years yours?
Okay. So again, I saw a quote from Steve Kerr yesterday. He was asked about, why don't you make Steph James Harden? Why don't you make him the center of your D'Antoni universe and play around him?
Play like that.
And he said, well, we don't play like that.
Right.
Okay, well, you might have to more than you think, because that's all you got.
James, exactly.
And he said, well, they've always surrounded James with shooters, and we don't have those kind of shooters. And finally, he said, Steph is too small to take the beating that James has to take on a nightly basis. And you do have to take a beat. James
stays on the floor.
He gets beat up every night.
I like that point, because Steph, look, there were people, I mean, would they say he's better than LeBron? He's clearly not a LeBron James. Put LeBron James on this Warriors team, they still gonna win a lot of games. They're gonna make the playoffs.
You know what? I would buy that.
Right?
I think they could make the playoffs.
If LeBron was healthy for 82,
Yep.
I think they probably make the. He's just that type of player. I think there are certain types of players that need help, and I'll categorize those as centers who just post up, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Twice, right in the middle of his prime, he missed the playoffs.
Right.
Because he needs a guard to get him the ball, okay? Yeah. A small point guard, too. I think it's the same way. You need help. And as good as Steph is, and much as he impacts the game, I don't think he can just lift anybody like a LeBron can, or even KD. Yeah. I think a KD would lift this team higher, and I think that's what you're going to see this year.
But I don't think Steph's mindset, because you look at small guards, you look at Iverson. Iverson had the mindset, I'm going at you, but that's not Steph. That's not how Steph's wired.
No.
Steph ain't trying to go out there and get 50 a night. Steph's like, okay, he's brought up in a system. We're going to pass the ball. We're going to move the ball around. Hey, I'm like, I got Dikembe. I got you.
Yep.
Y'all not scoring. I'm going to score all
that
you guys by myself. So, but Skip, he got his work cut out for him.
So, again, I'm a big no on playoffs. Unless you tell me Klay comes back way sooner than you think. And the first of the year, Steve Kerr said, forget about it. He's not going to come back at all.
Well, Skip,
and if they're way out of it,
if I'm out of playoffs, Klay stay out.
Let him get healthy.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, thank you. Always good to have you here.
No mercy.
So the Dallas offense has been more explosive under offensive coordinator Kellen Moore than in years past. Both Dak and Zeke were off to their hottest starts of their careers at different points this season. And through 8 weeks, the Cowboys have the most offensive yards per game in the league. On the defensive side, Dallas also ranks in the top 10 for yards allowed per game. The Cowboys are only one of 3 teams who are in the top 10 in both categories. And we're now joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Mark Schlereth.
Good morning.
Mark, what do all those numbers tell you?
Well, the numbers tell me that they're built the right way. The Cowboys have built themselves the right way, and that means control line of scrimmage. They have been built from the inside out. You control line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball in this league, and you're going to win a lot of football games, regardless who you have on the outside, regardless who your running backs are, regardless who your quarterback is. If you build it that way, you'll win a lot of football games. And the case in point, you look at the way the league is trending right now. Look at the teams that can run the ball. Look at the teams that control the line of scrimmage. You show me a team that controls the line of scrimmage in this league right now, and I'll show you a team that's going to win a lot of football games. Do you know, this goes back to Shannon and I's day. Shannon and I, we would get into base. and the majority of what we would play is base, which was two backs.
Two backs, one tight end.
Two backs, one tight ends, right?
Okay.
So you've got a running back, you got a fullback, and you've got two wide receivers and a tight end. Yeah. Do you know the 3 teams that play the most base in the National Football League? The 3 teams. 2 of them are undefeated, 1 of them 6-2.
Oh.
New England Patriots, San Francisco 49ers, and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
You control the line of scrimmage in this league. You invest there. You build your team that way. You're going to win a lot of football games.
Although New England doesn't play base that
much. Well, they have to now because of Ben Watson.
No, but they lost James Devlin, who was there.
Right, but they play a lot. They play a lot of 2 backs, is what I'm saying. Okay. So, but they get into those. That's their personnel formation. Groupings, and so bottom line though, again, you find a way to control the line of scrimmage, and get this now. It's not just about building a bigger, thicker, stronger offensive line. It's about your play caller and understanding how to protect those guys up front so you can control the line of scrimmage. So that's how I look at the Cowboys. I say they're built the right way in my mind to be a championship contender.
Aha.
Yeah.
So your answer to that is what,
Plus,
Mr. Bronco?
When you can run the football, what does Kirk Cousins do a great job of? Play action.
Yeah.
What does Dak do a great job of? Play action.
What does any quarterback do a great job?
Exactly.
Seriously.
But see, that opens up windows.
I know.
So now you have wider windows. You don't have guys throw. Because there are very few guys that can consistently throw the ball into the keyhole. One of them's up in Lambeau. There's one in Kansas City. They got one in New England. He can't do it as consistent as he once could. But your guy.
The guy in Lambeau who overthrew the tight end by 10 yards for a touchdown? Wow.
Okay. There are 3 teams. Points scored, points allowed. Now, one of those teams 7-0. That's the 49ers. The Vikings are 6-2. Why are the Cowboys 4-3? I just need to know that, Skip.
Underachieved.
What it is. Because you tell me your quarterback is number 1. Now, Skip told me Pro Football Focus. They got a lot of intelligent guys. They got some guys in there like you and I watch film that know the game of football. Dak Prescott has the number 1 QBR.
Okay.
Dak Prescott.
The whole offense is ranked number 1 by Pro Football Focus. Number 1 in the league.
You got the number 1 offense, the number 1 quarterback, the number 11 running back, and you lost 3 games. How? See,
there's another side of the
ball. Whoa, no. Steve, you and I, we can attest to this. We scored we scored a few points. I don't say we scored. Okay, we averaged 30.
But it was more about the running back than the tight end.
See, there you go. Right? See, there you go.
Am I right about that?
No, because you're not, because it's about a complete team. That to me is like what you have to understand is what certain guys do, like what a Shannon would do for the running game, what a Terrell would do for the passing game, right? How guys affect a game plan even when they don't get to touch the ball. Like the great ones affect what you do. Like, so I was calling San Francisco, Carolina, and last week, you watched Christian McCaffrey affect a defense without touching the football. It's amazing. So he runs a little flat pattern. And your buzz defender, who's supposed to get, depth, right? He's trying to take away the curls before he comes out to the flat. Just whoom, bypass it, and the curls
right here.
Right. I mean, the curl is wide open 100% of the time, and like certain guys have an effect that you don't even see.
But unfortunately, Christian's team got annihilated.
Well, not in that particular. I'm talking going up to that. Yeah, San Francisco is outstanding, but there are certain guys who just affect the game, even if they don't touch the football. They affect the game.
I just want to know why your team 4-3.
My team lost 3 close games.
No, they
because
didn't.
in 2 of those games, my defense failed to show up for the kickoff. It showed up a little.
What about
later
your
in the game.
offense?
It showed up. It was doing just fine.
You went 3 games. You had 9 points at the half. Is that offense showing up?
My team fell behind 31-3 and almost came all the way back to tie the game because of the quarterback who threw for 463 in that game. That's pretty great, right? But he can't throw, says this guy.
But I just
called him earlier in the show marginal to bad quarterback. And he's ranked number 1 in QBR. I don't know.
But you lost 3 games. But Skip, you keep telling me the defense didn't show up. Why did y'all only have 3 points? Where was the offense doing that time?
Well, do you get to play 4 quarters or not?
Yes.
Okay. So,
but they got to be meaningful.
Okay, the turning point of the game was a pass that hit Amari Cooper right there that he still rused the day that he dropped the ball. He still talks about
Skip, that was the first drive of the first quarter.
Right there, and he muffs it into an interception that gets returned 50 yards.
Skip, that didn't end the game.
You want to talk about tilting the playing field the other way?
Skip, that did not end the game.
Yeah. No, it did not, but it gave Green Bay a big head start because they cashed. And then my defense, this guy named Aaron Jones, he looked like Walter Payton all day long against my defense. So I'm not sold completely on my defense the way, again, Pro Football Focus ranks them 12th.
And your quarterback started the game looking like Quincy Carter, so you're even.
Really?
Yeah.
No one's ever compared Dak Prescott to Quincy Carter.
When you're down 31-3, who he looking like?
You have to have some time to throw for 463. He threw for 329 in the second half.
Steve, you've seen situations where you fought. Now, I don't know. We ain't ever fell behind 31-3. No. I like to think we had a pretty good offense, so we didn't fall behind.
That was a bad sign.
Yeah, it was a bad sign.
Well, how about a bad sign? 21-3 at Jets.
At the Jets.
Huh.
At the Jets.
You don't have either of your star tackles, the left or the right, and Amari Cooper caught one ball for 3 yards and said, my thigh hurts, I can't play.
But you know what? Good. You know what? With Russ, we don't make these excuses for Russell Wilson. We don't make these excuses for Tom Brady. We don't make these excuses for Drew Brees. Only Dak needs that Job hedge. He has to have everything perfect. I got to have my 2 tackles. I need them all. Look at what Aaron Rodgers doing without Devontae Adams.
How many passes did the Packers drop the other night? I don't remember one, but Michael Gallup at Jets dropped 3 big passes.
Here's one thing that you have to understand when you have that, when you lose your 2 tackles, then it comes down to more than your quarterback. To me, it comes down to your coaching staff.
Yeah, stop calling plays to put him in harm's way.
How do you react? Because, in San Francisco right now, Kyle Shanahan has down to their 4th and their 5th offensive tackles. They lost their 3rd offensive tackle in training camp. At 4th and 5th. And
they 7-0?
And the best fullback, not only in the game, one coach told me last week from an opposing team, the best fullback they have ever seen.
Wow.
In Kyle Juszczyk. Yeah. And they've been down those really 3 guys. They've been down those 3. They've been down those 3 positions for 4 straight weeks.
Okay.
And they're 4-0 because of the way they call plays and the way they protect those guys.
And they don't got the number 1 team. They don't got the number 1 team, said Pro Football Focus. Really? They ain't got the number 1 quarterback in QBR, but they just said,
What did you see against the Philadelphia Eagles a week ago Sunday night? Help me out. What did you see?
I know what I saw against Green Bay and New Orleans and the Jets.
What did you see when it really mattered? When the whole season was teetering. What did you see?
Skip,
you saw a tour de force of my team. You saw a potential Super Bowl
I know what I saw.
team.
I saw the week before a guy that says he saw ghosts and it wasn't even Halloween. It wasn't Pet Cemetery. It wasn't Pennywise. It wasn't Hellraiser. He saw things that didn't exist. He won Offensive Player of the Week against your team.
He did, against my defense.
Your team.
But my quarterback doesn't play safe.
Hello, what's your quarterback do? Your quarterback
really
hold on, Skip.
He brought them back from 21-3 down and throws a 2-point conversion pass to Jason Witten, and he gets mugged in the end zone and they don't throw the flag.
I just need to know why you keep falling behind.
Defense didn't show up.
So what about
they
that 3?
Made Sam Darnold look like Joe Namath.
Okay,
well, they did.
What about that 3 points? For 3 straight weeks, you had 9 points at the half. Now, can the defense play offense? I just need to know
Michael Gallup dropped 3 passes.
He didn't drop any in New Orleans.
Yes, he did. At the Jets.
Okay, well, how many dropped against Green Bay?
He was tied for 2nd in drop passes this year. My receiver.
Okay, what about Green Bay?
Wow, that means my quarterback's even better than he's showing up.
No, Green Bay. What about Green Bay? Yeah. You down 31-3.
What about it? He almost came back. A botched field goal cost them an onside kick to tie the score.
You ought to be ashamed.
That's impressive.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, you should be ashamed because you're in trouble.
I mean, 7-0, 14-0, 17, 24, 31. Skip, he threw no touchdown.
You're the guy who picked the Eagles, and I'm looking at all these categories, and they're in the middle of the pack in every category.
And they got the same number of wins.
They survived
so you ought to be
in Buffalo.
They survived.
Congratulations. Fly, Eagles, fly.
They made a statement.
Yeah. That was a statement.
Cry, Eagles, cry.
You gonna see. You gonna see. I want that game to come down. I want that game to come down to all the marbles. I want everything shoved down. Dougie P.
You
were in so much trouble.
For what?
I was right about this team all along. Here they come.
We're gonna Eagles gonna beat New England. Y'all will get creamed by New England.
Really? How many cases do you want on Eagles beat New England? I'll take that right now. Want to do 2 cases?
Nope, because I got to make sure my homeboy.
I'll do 4 cases. Huh?
Oh, that's
walk it to him there. Walk him to him. They got this one.
Walk it to him?
Yeah.
You think he's gonna get hurt or what?
Hey,
He's going to turn back into limpet to him wins?
Jason Peters is out.
Yeah.
Tim Jernigan's out.
Okay. So?
D-Jack is out. Walking to him ain't making no excuses.
D-Jack will be back by then, sure.
I mean, he just played. He's just been playing the last 7 weeks without it.
You don't have much confidence in your team.
I don't got much confidence in your guy without Amari.
All I know is my quarterback is way better than your quarterback.
Don't do that, Skip.
Yep.
Don't do
Sorry.
that. No. Nobody says that with you.
No.
He's had some extra
No,
time.
everybody. QBR is screaming that.
No.
Pro Football Focus is screaming that.
Steven and Jared Jones is not screaming that.
Yeah.
Steven and Jared's not screaming it.
Well, why would you give $40 million a year to a marginal quarterback? That's what you call it.
Because that's the going rate. Great quarterbacks make
really?
$50 million.
Okay.
Like my homeboy about to get.
50. That's a whole different discussion for a whole different. Let's get him back in the field first, Shannon.
Oh, he'll be back.
Okay. Well, he's saying.
Because you know they didn't win that game. If he'd have played Sunday, they'd have beat Green Bay. You know that.
I don't know that because they'd lost 2 straight home games with my homeboy in the lineup.
Matt Moore.
I think he's my road boy now.
Matt Moore threw for 250.
Yeah.
You don't think my homeboy gonna hit? Come on now.
I think so.
You
Either way.
gonna find out December 8th.
Okay.
December 8th.
We got lots
know
to do
everything
on
by heart.
No mercy.
In 2009, Bill Belichick said he did not want to coach into his 70s. Well, the coach might be having a change of heart after winning his 300th career game. During a radio interview yesterday, Belichick said now that he is getting closer to 70, he is not sure if that is an accurate statement anymore. Meanwhile, Tom Brady last night said that all speculation about his future were simply talking points from the media. Brady said he is focused on this season and not the future. So, Mark, how do you see this all playing out?
Well, I mean, I think, one, as a coach, if you're still enjoying it, I don't think there's anybody who enjoys the process more than Bill Belichick. And you know, it's interesting, and this is the thing that blows me away about Bill Belichick, New England Patriots, Tom Brady, is human nature is to be sated by success, right? Once you have success, you start patting yourself on the back, start feeling good about yourself. The fact that they have this unrelenting appetite for knowledge and to continue to prepare is unbelievable to me. But as you start to see your quarterback possibly moving on or possibly retiring, and you are 67 years old, there's not one coach that I know that doesn't want to be able to do it again with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a real, and all I think Mike Shanahan wanted to see what he could do without John Elway. I think all coaches are wired that way because they're coaches.
Right.
They have this innate just nature about them to coach people, to grow young players. And I think that's part of the allure and part of the excitement to watch a guy go from here. I mean, think about New England. One of the things that always amazes me about New England is they'll find former players who are considered busts with their organizations that come in, get coached up, and become unbelievably productive, great players.
Jamie Collins. He went to Cleveland, Skip. They cut Jamie Collins.
They did.
Now he's probably the front runner. He and Nick Bosa, and maybe for the Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
He's been unbelievable.
Right.
Hal Van Noy.
I just said
Right. Yeah.
Chung. Remember Chung went to Philly.
He did.
And
Had a cup of coffee, read the paper, and they was like, nah, we good, bro. We good at safety. I mean, that's just the nature, Skip. Once you become successful, and I tell people this all the time, the more successful you are, the bigger your ego is. It's about you. Because if you think these A-list celebrities don't think that movie is number one because of them, you're sadly mistaken. And they want to say, you know what, I had great success with this director, but I want to go with someone that's a little less known and do it so I can show it's not him, it's me that's doing this. If you don't think for 1 second, you don't think it made Phil feel good to win a title without Michael? You don't think that made it feel good, Skip? Kobe wanted to win one without Shaq. Shaq wanted to win one without Kobe. That's just the way it works. These guys are not unique. I know they say all the things. The great thing, look, once you've been in the locker room, Skip, and once you've been around it, you know what guys say privately, and you know how they're wired. They're going to say all the things, oh, I just want to win. I want to win one so bad without that joker, because you think it's all about him, and it's not, because he ain't making no plays, he ain't making no throws, and Tom think it's all about him making throws, but I'm giving him players to throw it to. I'm putting this defense together. I'm hiring this staff. So
players to throw it to like Gunnar Olszewski or
Hey,
that?
but Skip.
Jacoby Myers.
And before I let you go, Skip, this is what amazed me, and Skip and I talked about this earlier. Coach Belichick, who has tunnel vision, he doesn't see anything to the left, anything to the right, the opponent. For him to all of a sudden to stop and to stick his head up and like, oh yeah, I might can see myself going past 70.
Right.
It's something that we don't normally hear or we would expect to hear from him.
Yep.
So that's why it's so surprising that he would take the time, because he don't normally even anything that doesn't have to do with this week's opponent, which is Baltimore, he doesn't normally have time for it.
Which is why these guys have dueling radio gigs every Monday. They go back and forth, and it's like yesterday, Belichick sent a subliminal message. He's like playing mind games with his quarterback because he wanted Tom to go home last night and think, God, I give up. I can't outlast this guy. I kept saying I was going to play till 45, and I thought maybe he'd retire by the time I stopped at 45. Next, we need to hear Tom Brady drop a hint. I'm thinking about playing till 50 because I'm feeling really good.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Now, right?
You say, I'm feeling really good. I feel invigorated.
Okay. And to your point, I do not begrudge Bill Belichick being obsessed with trying to win a championship without Tom Brady. But he needs Tom Brady out of the way sooner than later.
Correct.
And to Shannon's point, I think he wants him out of the way after this year. And Tom Brady's not ready to stop, so he may start up again with the Chargers or the 49ers or whichever situation plays out the best for him. So to me, the best thing that ever happened to Bill Belichick is also the worst thing, because the best thing was Tom Brady.
Yes.
And the worst thing is Tom Brady
right
now, because he can't get out from under it and start over and do what you say every coach wants to do. But I think he's even more obsessed with it than most are. You can say in reverse, Montana was to Walsh, because then it was the quarterback. It was his opportunity to say, I can win without you. This is the other way around.
Well, I think part of, though, you look at what's going on in the league. I mean, look at where they are right now. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo 7-0. He was the former backup. Brissett, what is Brissett, 5-2? He's the former backup. I mean, you have to look at what they've been able to accomplish in New England and what they've put out there for other people to glom onto and actually win with. I mean, it says a lot about Bill Belichick, his coaching staff. I mean, I have nothing but the utmost respect for what they do in New England, because I think it's one of the most phenomenal things in sports I've ever seen.
I think Bill Belichick is starting to feel himself, smell himself a little bit, because he's got a defense. They didn't have a defense last year.
He got a stink over there.
He's got a stink.
Yeah.
He does. And again, they were just stinking early last year because they had some disasters all the way up through the Miami game, cost themselves home field with that Miami miracle play. And yet, Super Bowl, that defense came together, took off, and it launched into this year, and it is rolling. It has not looked back, and I don't know who's calling the signals. I don't know. Maybe Belichick became a ventriloquist because it doesn't look like his lips are moving on defensive calls. And we saw his son Steve, age 32. He was calling something. I don't know. Maybe he's calling the signals. But it's working.
No. I wonder which radio interview has better numbers. Like who listens to more, if they compete over that.
You better not say it, because Coach Belichick will all of a sudden start talking.
Well, that's what I mean.
He like winning, Skip. He like winning.
Yep.
Oh, I think I'll come on twice. I'll come on Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah, why not? It's just going to continue, and then every day
he might
we'll
start
hear from
singing, right?
Oh, Belichick like, hey, I come on Mondays and Fridays.
Fascinating dynamic. Mark, good to have you with us.
No mercy.
According to a report, Kyrie Irving's mood swings have been a growing concern to the Nets organization. When they occur, Kyrie will shut down and not communicate to the coaches, front office, or teammates. And one recent occurrence during the Nets' preseason trip to China left everyone, quote, scratching their heads. So, Shannon, interesting stuff here. What do you make of this?
Damn, already? That didn't take long. But I thought it was LeBron, Skip.
Too soon.
LeBron, the drama. LeBron, he didn't want to be a part of the drama, the circus. There's always something going on.
He'd had enough of LeBron.
Okay, so what happened in Boston? They saw the same thing. Now, Skip, Brooklyn. He just got to Brooklyn.
Literally.
You just signed the lease. How you going to tell them, I want out? At least get 6 months in, Skip, already. You going to defend this? Look.
No. Are you surprised?
No.
No?
Because Skip, you hear rumblings, and you're like, okay, maybe he and Bron, maybe it was time for them to part ways. but you see a reoccurrence, a situation change where he's no longer around LeBron, he's no longer involved in a situation he no longer wants to be in, and then all of a sudden, you know, at some point in time, Jenny, you know, a gal get married 6 or 7 times. It can't be the same. It can't be the woman or the guy's fault.
Nah, I don't
it's got to be that individual. Now, Skip, we see this keep coming up. Now, this is the 3rd time.
That's true. So I like and believe in what Kevin Durant called Kyrie, which is he's an artist, because with the basketball, he is.
Oh,
artiste.
yes.
We said after the 50-point game, there's nobody who can do, because nobody has the handle to do it. And I wish he'd closed that game out with the game winner where he fell down and got up and almost made it anyway.
Right.
That would have just that would have shut down the internet. But he missed it, and now they're 1-2, and I don't know if that's contributing to his mood swings, because Kevin said off the court, he's an artist, you know, like he sort of goes over here, he goes over here.
And most artists are like that, you know, hey.
Yeah. And remember, he's a clutch shooting artist, too, because he'll make a lot of big clutch shots. So you just have to kind of live with his mood swings. And I don't know if LeBron lived with them, or they said that, especially the last year, Kyrie just went his own way.
Yeah.
He just stayed by himself. Wouldn't talk to teammates, wouldn't communicate.
Right.
So there's already been an incident, according to Jackie McMullen, on their China trip where he went like 5 days and he just shut down. Nobody could communicate with him, and they couldn't figure out, was it our fault? Did we say something?
Did somebody say something? Or I mean, what's going on?
It's always hard to know. So the irony here is that the Nets are counting on the fact that Kevin Durant will keep Kyrie in line. Well, trust me on this. Kevin Durant, the thinnest-skinned superstar in the history of sports, has a hard enough time keeping Kevin Durant in line.
Right.
Because we know about burner accounts and Twitter spats with nobodies. You know, he'll take on anybody, right?
But the thing is though, what is so bad? What is he shutting down for, Skip? I mean, I'm like the Nets. I mean, who said what? For the most part, Skip, look, having been in a locker room, the guys that are not on the level of, say, a John, they don't really get involved. They don't really talk to the superstars. Unless spoken to. Okay. So what was, and you're in China. I'm trying to figure out, did he take your reservation at a hot, you know, Chinese restaurant or something? I mean, what's going on that you already upset?
I don't know.
That you already like.
Well, you love relationship examples. It's like a new relationship. You got to tread lightly in the beginning. This thing just started.
No, you're on your best behavior. You do everything. Skip, in the beginning, you do everything. Everything funny. Every joke you tell is funny. I'll keep you late. You could be late if you want to. It's just as it builds up, you like, when you start like, damn it, late again. See, this is what you find things to get mad about. But in the beginning, it's already, Skip, this is where he wanted to be. Okay. He said he wanted to be home.
You cannot try to psychoanalyze Kyrie. You just have to let him be, and you know he's going to show up on time, and he's going to play. Now, if the moods start affecting his performance, you got a problem.
But, Skip, hold on. That would be great if he was a golfer. That would be great if he was a tennis player. But, hell, what about those other 12 guys? They got to walk on pins and needles to get along with Kyrie.
Yeah, I don't know if it's pins and needles. Just ignore him. Just let him be.
Skip, it's hard.
Okay?
I mean, you come in here, but you the same every day, you know. They people talk crazy to me. I'm like, why don't y'all talk to Skip like y'all talk to me? Yeah. Get out of my room, Shannon. Why you down here? I'm like, well, y'all don't talk to Skip. Skip come walk down the hall, don't nobody, hey, Skip, how you doing? Me, get out my room. Autumn and wardrobe, get out. Rules and them in makeup, get out.
Well, you probably give it right back.
No, I don't bother anybody.
You probably do.
Well, in this case, the birds of a feather are KD and Kyrie. So I don't know. You know, I wish for our sake that Kevin were not hurt this year, because this would be the story. This would be
well, let me ask you a question. When both of them get in their moves, then what?
I don't know.
Don't worry, guys. He's going to start tweeting about it.
About talent?
Maybe he'll tweet something at us right now about this.
Mercy.
Russell Westbrook, he came up 1 assist shy of a triple-double against the Thunder. It was Westbrook's first game against his former team, and he got the last laugh in the 116-112 win. After the game, Westbrook was asked about facing his old teammates and said he has no friends on the court except for Spalding. Skip, do you believe him?
I do believe him. I think Russ has got some cold-hearted assassin in him. And after the game, he did go over to say hey to his ex-teammates in the OKC locker room. I do not believe he would have gone over there if they had lost that game to
Correct.
OKC. And CP3 made a sort of half-kidding remark about get out of here. I think he wasn't kidding about that. Get out of here.
Right.
And if CP3 had won that game and come into the Houston locker room, I believe Russell Westbrook would not have liked it.
I don't think Chris Paul would have come in that locker room after given how the situation ended with him and James. Skip, for me, I believe him also. I don't know if he has a whole lot of friends. I believe he's friendly.
I agree with that.
But being friendly and having friends
I don't know about
something
that.
entirely different. And Skip, for me, and I played with guys that they wanted to be in the mentality like, I hate everybody, I'm going to try to kill everybody, and then I have guys that shake your hand. Whatever's going to get you in the frame of mind that's going to get you to perform your best, do it, Russ. So if you want to say everybody on the other side is the enemy, if that's going to help Russ be Russ, have at it. So I'm not here to debate him on that one, but I don't believe, Skip, I believe that when he steps on the court, he doesn't see anybody other than the people that's in his color, and if you're not in his color, he ain't got time for you.
And you know what? He's a rare bird in this league, the way it's going now, because everybody else is like, hey, what's up? And they're all hugging before.
But there was more, that was more 80s and 90s basketball with guys like, okay, they nod at the tip, but that was it. It wasn't no fraternizing and carrying on during the course of the game like it is now. It's a different time, but whatever you feel you need to do to get you where you need to be, have at it.
Yeah, LeBron's hugging everybody.
Like me and Skip, ain't no fraternizing. We show up to work, we do the pre-meeting, and that's it.
True.
We don't ride the elevator together. We don't do anything.
Cold-blooded.
These two. That is it for us. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.